Welcome to Tampa City Council, best show on cable TV. I'd like to call this meeting to order and recognize Councilman Carlson.
Good morning. I have for invocation, we'll do the invocation and then please stand for invocation in a moment and then for the Pledge of Allegiance. But I have the pleasure of introducing Aaron Burke, who is the founder and lead pastor of Radiant Church in Tampa, Florida, one of America's largest and fastest growing churches. In fact, they just closed like 2 weeks ago on a new property. Congratulations. Known for his passion for loving God, loving people, and building the church, Aaron has shared the gospel and biblical leadership principles across the globe. He is also the author of The Unfair Advantage, his debut book that inspires readers to transform life's obstacles into opportunities, and the host of the leadership podcast Made for More. Aaron holds a Doctor of Ministry degree and loves to do CrossFit. He and his wife, Katie, are the proud parents of 5 energetic children. So welcome. Please stand for the invocation and the pledge.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we are grateful for another day that your mercies are new this morning. And the scriptures tell us to be still and know that you are God. So we pause even before a day that's filled with a heavy agenda, a lot going on, and we look to your leadership and your guidance. We thank you for the men and women, the public servants that serve on this council, and I just pray that you would give them divine wisdom today. The scriptures say that if anyone lacks wisdom, we should ask, and you will give it to us graciously. So we do ask for wisdom, peace, guidance. Continue to pray for protection over our nation, over our troops, and we thank you for what you're doing here today. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Councilman Carlson, can you lead us in the pledge?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Miranda. Here. Maniscalco. Here. Hurtak. Here. Young. Here. Vieira. Here. Carlson. And Clendenin.
Here.
We have a physical quorum.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to adopt the minutes of the regular session held on January 8th and the special call session held on January 13th, 2026, and the evening session held on January 15th, 2026? I heard a motion from Councilman Miranda, second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. We've got a request to continue items 18, 40, and 41 to February 19th. Councilman Hurtak.
Item 40, which is attached to item 18, was my motion, and they want to continue this so we can talk about it during tree conversations, but for me personally, it's not going to change the fact that I don't want to spend tree trust fund money on this, and that I want to take it from the general fund. So that's what they want to continue it to, but for me, I don't. It's not going to change my vote. They're welcome to change it, and I've heard more from the community since then that you can move it, but my opinion's not going to change.
Okay. So we have a request to continue items 18, 40, and 41. Councilman Miranda.
I'm going to support the change, and I'll tell you why. You give it back to whoever you took it from. That's all.
Okay. Can I get a motion to continue?
Move to continue 40 and 41.
And 18.
18, 41.
We haven't gone to 41.
18, 40, and 41.
Yeah, may I just say,
Councilman Carlson.
I think 41 needs to travel with these because, and I just spoke to Chief Staff yesterday, there should be an interdepartmental agreement connected to this. If there was an interdepartmental agreement where the, one department had said we need to buy trees from you or for a certain amount, then we would have understood it. We would have approved it in advance. But when it seems like an open-ended checkbook, the public doesn't like that. So,
okay. So we have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco to continue the 3 items. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Thank you. Make sure I got that right. Okay. The request to continue item 46 to March 26, 2026. We have a motion from Councilman Carlson, a second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, the ayes have it, thank
May
you.
I just say one thing about it?
Yes, go ahead.
I talked to staff yesterday, and Carl Brody, and what I recommended, you guys can give him your feedback as well, and we can talk about it then, but I recommend that there would be a process through which staff can determine whether it's city business or not. And if it's city business, clearly we have the right to records. So, and then if the staff decides that it's not city business for whatever reason, ultimately it might come to an appeal of the council, but at least he's looking at putting in a process, looking at other cities.
Okay. Okay, now we also have a request to continue item 47 to March 26, 2026. Councilman Hurtak.
I don't want to continue this, I'll be honest, but unfortunately, it's under RFP right now, and we're in a cone of silence
Correct.
and all of that. But we have heard a lot from the public about it already, and I recommend you keep sending us your thoughts.
Okay, can I get a motion to continue item 47 to March 26? We have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco, a second. I thought we already did 46. Okay, I'm sorry, you're right. A motion to a motion to continue 46 and 47 to March 26, 2026. A motion from Councilman Maniscalco, a second from?
Second.
Well, I guess we had both, so second from Councilman Carlson. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, ayes have it, thank you. Okay, two other things. For item 32 at 1:30, I would look, just for your notice, it was misnoticed, we'll have to have a motion to remove that from the schedule when we get to the 1:30 public hearings. During new business, I plan on bringing up the CRC memo, FYI, for council, just so you know. Okay, very good. Is there any other items on the agenda that we should address? Councilman Carlson?
One quick note for scheduling, unfortunately, I have to leave at 11:30, but I'll be back after
Okay.
lunch.
Okay, very good.
Does
Councilman
anybody-
Maniscalco?
Does anybody have a birthday tomorrow? Anybody? No? No? Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Oh, so we're gonna have to sing happy birthday to you today?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, okay.
I want to, for item 4, I want to say something about it. Yeah.
Okay, so item 4, you want to pull that separately for discussion?
Yeah,
Okay. Item 4?
4,
Okay. Okay,
just so I can talk about it.
okay, very good.
Just a heads up, I would like to pull 14 and 15 just for a separate vote.
14 and 15 for separate vote, okay? So,
Are we moving forward with staff reports or just talking?
I just wanted to talk about it.
yeah, she just wants to talk about it. Okay, so let's go to staff reports. Okay, there is no administrative update unless that has changed. Is that still true? Okay, very good. Okay. Item 34, staff will appear to discuss that in
Yep.
person. Okay. 35. Anybody need staff for that?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. No staff. 36. No staff. 37. No staff. Good job on that, by the way. 38.
Yes, I've spoken to our Chief of Staff Administration and Mr. Fowler on this. I believe he's going to be here live, but again, as I indicated, they can be here virtually if they'd like, but yes, some sort of presence.
Okay. 39. Well, 17, okay. Okay, 42.
Yes, yeah, someone will be here as well as Mr. Garcia.
43. Okay, yeah, I do not require staff, but also I'd like to pass the gavel to Councilwoman Hurtak. I need to,
Yes.
for clarification, we need to clean this up and make a motion to strike Palm Avenue from that for future reports, because we're going to continue that probably
Okay.
at Columbus.
And then I have another question before I make
Yeah.
that motion. Is there a way that since this is a written report, that we could just move it to written reports?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so.
I'll make a motion to move item 43 to strike to Palm Avenue and then change the report to written reports.
Okay, so I have a motion from Chair Clendenin and a second from Councilmember Maniscalco. Any more thoughts?
You know, just to talk on that is because Brandon is doing a great job on the written reports.
Yeah.
They're very detailed, they're providing a lot of information, and so, yeah, it's a good move. Thank you for that suggestion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
Thank you. Okay. Item 44, we're 5-minute quarterly update. I guess we need that one. That's probably good for the public, yes?
yes, but also, We have the sidewalk report, that's a written staff report, and I kind of feel like since these travel together, we should make a decision about whether these are going to be written or
Yeah. Your
I
call.
think,
in present for every, because if
It's a lot of information.
it is a lot of information, but I feel like they are traveling together for
Yeah.
a reason. So we should either be hearing them together as roads and sidewalks, or there should be a written report as roads and sidewalks. So that's my suggestion.
I would, written report for roads and sidewalks is good for me.
I, the,
You want to hear it? Okay.
the original purpose of this was that the top two complaints I hear are about roads and parks. And the idea is to have the administration give the public an update on it. We can read the documents, but the public doesn't always have access to it. But we limited it at 5 minutes and quarterly so that the folks could see. But folks are very upset about potholes despite the city advancing some of it. Now they're also upset about roads being closed. So,
Well, I think I agree with Councilwoman Hurtak. We could combine these two, and if we still wanted it to be 5 minutes of verbal, it could be 5 minutes of verbal and both combined.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to add the word sidewalks.
It's
to-
49. You could combine both of those motions into 44.
Yeah.
Or just on 44, just add, it says what roads, and then just add in and sidewalks.
Sure,
Okay.
okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Shelby.
Martin Shelby, City Council Attorney. You're asking for a personal, an in-person report today on something which is an additional topic that was in the.
No, it's
part of
it's
the-
already there.
No.
It's already there.
In the written,
For future, for the
for
future.
the future. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So for
Okay.
this item in the future, adjacent to where it says roads, we would add and sidewalks.
Okay.
There are two places.
Okay. Very good. So we have a motion from Councilman Carlson to add the language sidewalks after road on item 44 for future quarterly reports. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Councilwoman Hurtak. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
But in
So-
the meantime, they're coming today in person.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then for item number 49, we have a written, well, we'll get to that, I'm sorry. So 45. Oh, this- so
It
we
is,
have-
my belief this is written,
Okay,
correct?
yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, we're not.
So no
yeah.
staff. Okay, very
So
good.
that- okay.
And now we go to 48. All written report. Okay, motion to receive and file 48, 49, and 50. We have a second from Councilwoman Hurtak. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Shelby.
Yes, again, if I can direct your attention to number 17 on the agenda, there's a staff report that is number 39 that says to come back with a substitute resolution on that item. Am I misunderstanding that?
Councilwoman Hurtak.
No,
So then we can't really move 17 because I don't believe that's a substitute resolution.
it is.
It
The
is.
substitute was, so they were, 17 and 18 were supposed to travel together. 210 is coming out of the tree trust fund, and 125 was supposed to come out of the general fund because those are the type 3 trees. The administration is still fighting over the 125,000 from the general fund, and they want it to be paid for by the tree trust fund. And I and the public are saying, no, we don't want that. So they asked to continue it, and I said they can continue it. That's why I made my little speech about they can continue, but I'm not agreeing with them.
So if I understand correctly, if 17 has been filed as the substitute resolution that's referenced in number 39, number 39 is really moot. So it should be
Yes.
removed
Yes.
from the agenda.
So I motion to remove item 39 from the
We
agenda.
have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak, second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you,
Speaking of
Council.
removing from the agenda, because of the motion from adding sidewalks to the other motion, we probably should remove, which one was that, 49, is that right? Yeah, 49?
No, because that's going in the future. It's the future.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be in the
Okay,
future.
but
Well,
not
the
today.
motion
remove
would
for
be
future-
the motion would be to receive and file the report, and then you.
We've already done
We've already
that,
done
but
that.
now for future, though, for future
Okay,
reports.
I move to remove CM 24-7650 from being a recurring quarterly written report because it will be added to CM 24-3585 going forward.
Thank you. We have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak, a second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And is that, everybody good with the agenda? Can I get a motion to approve? We have a motion to approve from Councilman Maniscalco. We have a second from Councilman Carlson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Very good. And now we're moving on to our commendations. The City of Tampa Black History Committee. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Tampa City Council.
Thank you
Start
so
with your
very
name, and if you'd
much.
like to introduce everybody, that would be great.
Good morning. Oh, thank you, Chief. Good morning. My name is Katrina House. I am with the Community Redevelopment Agency. I am a 24-year employee with the City of Tampa, and I'm also the City of Tampa's Black History President. And joining me today is
Jillian Howard, Contract Administration.
Shirley Foxnose,
Barbara Tripp.
Sandra Williams.
Micho Joseph, Neighborhood Enhancement.
Both Sandra and Amicho are our new co-chairs for this year's celebration. So we want to give them a hand. They did a wonderful job planning. We would like to extend a formal invitation, of course, to our Honorable Mayor Jane Castor, our Chief of Staff over there in the corner, distinguished members of Tampa City Council, and our public to join us as we host our 38th annual City of Tampa Black History Celebration on Friday, February the 6th at 11 o'clock a.m. at the Tampa Convention Center. This community event is free and open to the public. The celebration's theme this year is honoring our veterans, celebrating 250 years of service and strength. Our co-chair, Micho, is going to go ahead and pass out a little something for our Tampa City Council to join us in support of this year's theme, which rightly frames the Tampa's Black History Celebration as an opportunity to commemorate our nation's 250th anniversary by formally recognizing the men and women who have kept America strong through service with our military, which would be our armed forces, Army, our Coast Guard, Air Force, Marine Corps, Navy, and our Space Force. Mayor Jane Castro, along with yourself, will bring greetings during this celebration. Our MC will be Miss Deanne King from WFLA News Channel 8, our traffic anchor, award-winning journalist. She will serve as our mistress of ceremony. The audience will experience the melodic voices of award-winning gospel recording artist, Mrs. Phyllis Wong. I'm excited to announce this year's keynote address will be delivered by a member of the City of Tampa Black History Committee, our very own Tampa Fire Rescue Chief and U.S. Navy veteran, Barbara Tripp. With over 30 years of experience in the fire service, Chief Tripp has held positions as our firefighter, paramedic field training officer, a lieutenant, a captain, acting district chief, quality assurance officer, rescue division supervisor, and rescue division chief. And in 2021, she was sworn in as the first female fire chief of Tampa Fire Rescue. We will also present our first Community Hero Award to State Representative Diane Hart for her decades of advocacy, service, and community leadership to the Tampa Bay area. So with that being said, we would like to formally extend this invitation. We want you guys to come on out. We're looking for something great to happen as we honor all our military veterans. Just please come and support us, because this is the time now that our nation is going to be celebrating 250 years, and we are proud to be active members of not only our community, but city employees as well.
Thank you.
And so just, again, a very solemn topic. So God bless y'all. Looking forward.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Young.
Well, I'm excited, and I have to say your enthusiasm also it brings the excitement as well. I'm really looking forward to this, and Black History Month is amazing, so this would be a wonderful way to honor our veterans. So I'm really looking forward, and thank you all for the work that you do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you much, Mr. Chairman. Katrina House, thank you so much for your presentation and things you've done in the past and what you continue to do in the future. And you said February the 6th?
February the 6th, that's on a Friday at 11 a.m. at the award-winning Tampa Convention Center.
Now, let me ask you another question. What would you do if you were in my shoes and your granddaughter's rehearsal dinners that night?
Well, I tell the granddaughter that you got a gift for her. But I'll let you make that call, sir.
The wedding's on the 7th, so
Well, thank you very much, and I agree. Your enthusiasm, and everyone. You know, I frequently say about how lucky we are in the city of Tampa to have such amazing employees that represent the citizens that live here in the city of Tampa, and the cultural richness that we bring, the diversity in the city of Tampa, and it was represented at the podium today. Amazing leadership, amazing employees, and the city of Tampa would not be the city of Tampa without you all. So thank you so much, and thank you for representing the veterans.
Thank you so much, sir. We have a long list of honorees, about 30 honorees. They're going to be active and retired military personnel. A lot of them come from several of our City of Tampa departments, and so we're looking for a great turnout. So we really appreciate your support after these 38 years. So thank you very much.
And I appreciate you recognizing my good friend, Representative Diane Hart.
Oh, yes.
Yes. She's my ride and die. So that's good.
Yes.
Very good.
It was supposed to be a surprise, but we had to break the news to
very
her,
good.
so we
Very
appreciate
good.
it.
Well, thank you again. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize Councilman Guido Maniscalco for a very special presentation. Councilman Maniscalco.
Thank you very much. Good morning, sir. How are you? Well, Tampa City Council and members of the public, it's my honor this morning to recognize the International Longshoremen's Association, Local 1402, for their 90th anniversary. And with me today is the current president, Mr. Davis, and also we have County Commissioner, the wonderful County Commissioner, Gwen Myers, here today. We have some photos. I'm going to put them up here. And, see, I don't even know how to use this thing. So here we have, going back to the urban renewal days, we have Mr. C. Blythe Andrews, a name that's very well known in the community. And we have Mr. Perry Harvey Sr., I believe, in this photo. We also have another photo of the workers doing what they do. So the history is very rich and very deep in this community. Former President Perry Harvey Jr., we know Perry Harvey Park, named after the father, but Perry Harvey Jr. served on the Tampa City Council, the first black member of the Tampa City Council in the 20th century. So there's a lot of importance to this organization and the work that they do. And I wanted to recognize the organization today with this commendation on their 90th year, which was 2025. The building, if you're familiar, is right around the corner from Kid Mason in what was known as the Central Avenue neighborhood. And the Tampa City Council proudly recognizes the International Longshoremen's Association Local 1402 Union Hall on its 90th anniversary, honoring its historic significance and lasting contributions to Tampa's black community and labor history. Established in 1935, ILA Local 1402 became a cornerstone of advocacy and community life within Tampa's historic Central Avenue district, and later resided at 703 East Harrison Street in a building constructed between 1952 and 1953 that remains one of the few surviving markers of that once thriving area. The Union Hall served as a central gathering place where longshoremen and community members came together to support one another and address both work and daily life. Even as the surrounding district was largely removed through urban renewal efforts, it is the Tampa City Council's profound honor to present this commendation on this 22nd day of January 2026. And, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. And Commissioner Myers, if you'd like to say anything before I bring up Mr. Davis.
Sure. Good morning, Council.
Good morning.
What an honor and a privilege to be here and be a part of this community. I must say and admit, my father worked at Local 1402 at ILA. My husband, my late husband, Randolph T. Myers Sr., was the Executive Vice President of the local union. To celebrate 90 years and the workers that worked on the dock and continued to work, and back in the day it was just ships coming in. Today you have containers and everything, which is making a huge economic impact to our community. So I say congratulations, continue the hard work that you all are doing. Make sure the young people understand the union and bring them on board so that the union can see 100 years or more. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, City Council. Thank you for all of my friends I see out there in the audience. I brought these pioneers here. Both of these gentlemen are active members of our local. This guy is my IT tech. This gentleman right here, I've been following his lead since I got on the docks, traveling and trying to learn how this industry works. We are proud to say that we are part of the economical growth here in Tampa, Florida. I am proud that I've met some people that has really got behind us. Mr. Stephen McElhaney has been a great instrumental help to me. Mrs. Myers, when I asked for seek some help about our building, that almost as old as the industry of our local. We stand here today to thank you all for thinking about the international longshoremen who going to man those cruise ships, going to man those container ships, those steel ships, those car ships, and we're gonna keep Tampa growing. And we hope we get that bridge hope we get that port on the other side of the Skyway so we can ride over there. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Mr. Zero.
Councilman Miranda, then Councilwoman Hurtak.
Thank you very much for what you've done for many, many years, all of you. I knew Mr. Perry Harvey Sr. personally back in 1974 when election people would turn out about 40%. Now it's about 12 to 18%. It's a shame, but that's what it is today. With all the advertising that we have, it still doesn't work. And I never forget when I went to see Mr. Senior, Harvey Sr., when he told me at that same local that you're talking about, 1402, he said, after I talked to him for a while, he said, I'm going to endorse you. So I asked him, how many signs do you need, sir? He said, I don't need any signs. I need one bumper sticker. Just leave it on the desk. and I'm telling you exactly how it was. And therefore, we always help Perry Harvey Jr. get elected when he got elected. That's the first. So congratulations to you, to your organization. And I know how much you all work and how hard it is to do what you work in all kind of weather. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. McElhaney, you wanted to say something?
Yes, sir, Council. Let me give you a little historic perspective. In 1935, there were a small group of black businessmen who got together and decided that they wanted to try to organize the labor that was necessary for the growing port of Tampa. They assigned and established that union, which actually covered Pinellas at that time, right?
Right.
And also some other parts of Manatee County. They have done a tremendous job, and they have survived through many, many tumultuous years. They're building, and Andre referenced it a little bit, we've received a grant as courtesy of the county to help restore the roof and the windows, and we're working with the CRA to finish up the rest of the project in restoring the building. So they have a critical need, and we appreciate the county and also the city workers for the CRA for all of that they're doing to help us really establish that building and make it an icon that it once was. I'd like to recognize our City Council member, Nia Young and Lynn Hertog. They've both been out and helped serve some of the needy on Saturdays, and it's a great addition to what happens there. These folks give back to the community. They don't just take jobs and go out and help keep this port moving. They give back to the rest of the community, and so we'd like to acknowledge them for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilwoman Hurtak.
I just wanted to say thank you. Congratulations on 90 years. That's amazing, and I really love the history. This city has some phenomenal labor history, especially for a city in the South of our size. We're not as big as, say, Savannah or some of those other ports, but we have such a rich labor history. And so I want to say thank you so much, and thank you for continuing to carry the torch for that. And I'm hoping that, as we fix up the building, we're also, again, getting more members, as the commissioner said, that we really need to make sure that labor's voice is heard in this community, because that is our history. So I just want to say thank you for that and congratulations. And I look forward to coming back when all the renovations are done and seeing how wonderful it looks.
Good. Let me say something before y'all go continue.
Yes, sir.
I would be remiss to not let y'all know that Longshoremen, we now have Longshore women. But before the women, before the women, a longshoreman man, whether it was a girlfriend or a wife, they were longshoremen too. So we have one today. We have Miss Donna Lynch, the wife of Mr. Alvin Lynch. Miss Donna, would you please come on up? I don't want to say I forgot that, but you know, something had to click up there. But we appreciate her and we appreciate you guys. I just wanted to add her in for any remaining comments.
Councilman Vieira, then Councilman Carlson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Councilman Maniscalco, for bringing this up. I know you've always been very passionate about this group, and just thank you all for all you do. And Commissioner Myers, thank you for coming here, honor these good people, and thank you for telling us about your personal family connection to that. I remember when we honored Betty Coleman, the first black female firefighter in Tampa, a couple of weeks ago. Her father was a longshoreman as well, and you know, when I hear some of the stuff y'all have said today, I think of names like Garland Stewart and Martin Maceo and Robert Saunders, just names that mean so much to Tampa and the progress that we've made and the progress that we have to preserve, including in the labor movement today, when the middle of the economy is closer to the bottom than it is to the top for too many people. So y'all have such a pivotal role to play. So again, thank you for this, and Councilman Scalco, thank you for bringing this up, and Steve McLean, always good to see you. Thank you.
Councilman Carlson.
Yeah, thank you all and congratulations. When I represent South Tampa. When folks think about South Tampa, they think it's all rich and white. And I always remind them of the rich history and culture that the longshoremen created in the original ports down in Port Tampa and elsewhere. And still you see the descendants of the longshoremen there. Some families have owned homes for 4 or 5 generations. Unfortunately, some of them got hit by storms. But you know, there are churches, there's culture. It's getting gentrified out, unfortunately. But I've committed to do whatever I can to try to preserve that history, and there are many families that are trying to do that. The other thing is that you mentioned the port and the importance of the maritime industry. We saw the banana docks, which we lost 20 years ago or so to Manatee County. Unfortunately, there are elected officials or want-to-be elected officials who want to get rid of the port and put condos there. They say it's waterfront property. Why are we wasting it on industry? And it's the biggest economic engine in the region. It employs a lot of people in high-paying blue-collar jobs, and with the union supporting folks with benefits and other things, it's a great career. We need more folks. The industry is desperately looking for more people, welders and others. And so thank you all for what you do. And as a community, we need to continue to know that the measures of our community are about finding great jobs for people and building careers and building intergenerational wealth, not just building condos. Thank you.
Councilwoman Young.
Well, congratulations. 90 years is a huge milestone. And I think when I went out there, I was probably a week in. I don't even think I had been sworn in yet by the time I came out there with you all. And it was so great just to be out there and see all of the work and the contributions that you do to the community. So congratulations, and thank you for all of your hard work. And this is awesome. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. It's no secret that I'm a big labor supporter, a big union supporter. Labor built America, and labor definitely built Tampa.
Yes.
You know, you cannot separate the history of the labor movement from the history of the city of Tampa. I appreciate what the brothers and sisters that you represent do for our economic engine, and I look forward to continue to build the industry and provide economic opportunities for the young people that will come in. And when those young people come in, sign that union card. They're the ones that represent you and your family.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. We have to go back to work now.
Go back to work, man. Pleasure seeing you, Commissioner. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to recognize Councilman Vera for the next commendation, or next presentation.
And everybody who's coming up for this, come on up. For item number 3, great pleasure to be here, Mr. Chairman. We're here today for Holocaust Remembrance Day. Every year, always invite our friends of the Jewish Community Center Federation to come and speak on this. We have a number of really distinguished guests who are here, not just from the Jewish community, but folks from different faiths and backgrounds to support this community here today. We have, of course, Ms. Pamela Guerin, Director of Intergroup Relations with the Tampa JCC and Federation. We have Mr. Eric Arapi, representative of the Albanian community and founder and CEO of United States Solutions of America. We have Sandy Dewan, president of Chinese Chamber of Commerce of Tampa Bay and board member, Suncoast Association of Chinese Americans. We have Nicole, and Nicole, I apologize for this, your Noah Gradsky.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole. I apologize. Representative of the Argentinian Jewish Community and Community Partnership Specialist of Empath Health. We have Jose Joey Omila, Public Relations and Liaison Officer, Philippine Cultural Foundation, and member of the City of Tampa Mayor's Asian American Pacific Islander Advisory Group. We have here Mr. Alan Cohen with Grand Hampton, and a member of the JCC and a Charter Review Committee member as well. We have, of course, Mr. Jeffrey Berger, president of the Jewish Community Center Federation, and we have here from Corey Lake Isles, representing the American Hindu community, Mr. Sid Shah, one of my constituents and a friend as well from Corey Lake Isles. So something that's very important that we talk about every year is we know that about 80 years ago we had the systematic attempted extermination of Jewish people, 6 million murdered in the Holocaust. About 40% or so of the world's Jews at the time, about 65% of the world's Jews, or strike that, Jews in Europe. Something that's more important today than ever in the time of Charlottesville, Tree of Life Synagogue, and post-October 7th runaway rampant anti-Semitism that we continue to see in our country. And so it is my pleasure to hear from these good folks. So Pamela, are you going to start? So go ahead, ma'am, please, by all means. Go ahead, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, council members, and thank you to Councilman Vera and Maniscalco for inviting us to be here today to share this important history. My name's Pam Guerin, and I'm the Director of Intergroup Relations with the Tampa JCCs and Federation, and it's an honor to build bridges between Tampa's Jewish community and our neighbors of diverse cultures and faiths. In a city as, excuse me, as diverse as Tampa, every connection that I make is met with warmth and curiosity and shared humanity. We share a commitment to standing together against hatred and intolerance. Today, as we commemorate International Holocaust Remembrance Day, we remember the 6 million Jews and the millions of others murdered during the Holocaust. And while many stood by in silence or fear, a small minority of non-Jews chose courage. Known as the righteous among nations, they risked everything to save lives, and proving that even in humanity's darkest hour, one moral choice can light the way. These righteous among nations risked lives to hide Jews, forge documents, and help them escape. And living under the constant threat of betrayal, they came from many countries and all walks of life. Their stories are from Europe and Asia and South America and beyond, remind us that even in the darkest times, one person's moral choice can save lives. Today, you'll hear from representatives of 5 of those communities, and together we give voice to those who no longer can and affirm a promise that must guide us always, never again. It's my honor to introduce Nicole Novogradsky, Eric Arapi, Sunny Vaughn, Joey Omila, and Sid Shah.
Good morning.
So, good morning, City Council. I'm Nicole Novogradsky, and my family was from Poland, both sides, both of my grandparents. And luckily, on my dad's side, my grandma, she told me this story when I was very young, when I was learning about, the Holocaust and everything. She left 3 months before the Holocaust started, and she said that the way they found out was they were on a list in the Jewish community, and when they found out, they were able to escape, and they moved to Argentina. On my mother's side as well, in the 1930s, they also found that there wasn't that much going on with the Jewish community, and they also moved to Argentina. Argentina's efforts during one of the history's darkest periods stand as a meaningful example of the humanitarian responsibility and moral courage. At a time when many nations closed their borders and turned away fleeing persecution, Argentina maintained a long-standing tradition of welcoming Jewish immigrants. Between 1933 and 1943, the country officially admitted approximately 24,000 Jewish refugees escaping the rise of Nazism in Europe. Beyond this, an estimated 20,000 additional Jews entered Argentina illegally by crossing borders from neighboring countries, driven by desperation and the hope of survival. And during and after World War II, Argentina accepted more Jewish refugees than any other country except Israel. And for thousands of Holocaust survivors, Argentina became a place of safety where few alternatives existed. These policies were not merely acts of immigration, they were acts of preservation of lives, families, traditions, and faith. By offering refuge, Argentina allowed survivors to rebuild their lives, raise future generations, and maintain their cultural and religious identities in the face of genocide that sought to erase them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Arian Arapi. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Albanian community and their sacrifice during the Holocaust. The Holocaust stands as one of the most darkest moments in human history. Across Europe, millions of Jews were persecuted, deported, and murdered under a system built on hatred and fear. Yet, even in this period of moral collapse, there were societies that showed a difficult path. One of those remarkable examples is Albania. Before the Second World War, Albania was home to only a few hundred Jews. As Nazi persecution spread across Europe, Jewish families fled neighboring countries in search of safety. Albania, despite being occupied first by fascist Italy and later by Nazi Germany, became a refuge. By the end of the war, more than 2,000 Jews were living safely in Albania. Not a single Jew was handed over by Albanians to Nazi authorities. Albania remains the only European country where the Jewish population increased during the Holocaust. The extraordinary fact raises an important question as to why. The answer lies in a deeply rooted Albanian moral principle known as besa. Besa means keeping one's word and honoring a sacred promise, especially the promise to protect a guest. In Albanian tradition, when someone is welcomed into a home, their safety becomes the responsibility of the host, even at the cost of the host's own life. During the Holocaust, besa was not an abstract idea. It was lived in everyday actions. Albanian families hid Jewish men, women, and children in their homes for months and even years. They shared food during times of scarcity, provided shelter, and even created false identity papers. Jews were given Albanian names, taught local customs, and treated not as strangers, but as members of the family. What makes Albania's role even more significant in its interfaith community. Albania has long been a country of Muslims, Catholics, and Orthodox Christians. During the Holocaust, these religious differences became irrelevant. Muslim families protected the Jewish families. Christian villagers hid Jewish refugees. Clergy and civilians alike refused to cooperate with Nazi demands. This is not protection based on shared religion, but on shared humanity. In many European countries, rescue efforts were limited to a small number of individuals. In Albania, however, the protection of the Jews became a collective moral stance. Communities remained silent when questioned by occupying forces. Local officials refused to provide lists of Jews. Ordinary people chose courage over fear, knowing that discovery could mean imprisonment or even execution. After the war, many of these stories remained untold. Albanians did not see their actions as heroic. They saw them as normal, as what any honorable person should do. Only years later did the international community begin to recognize this courage. Numerous Albanians have since been honored as righteous among the nations by Yad Vashem, Israel's official Holocaust memorial. The Albanian experience during the Holocaust offers an important lesson for the modern world. It shows that resistance to evil does not always require weapons or power. Sometimes it requires values, deeply held ethical principles that guide behavior even in the face of death. In a time when hatred was enforced by law and violence, Albanians chose honor. When fear dominated Europe, they chose courage. And when indifferences could have saved them, they chose responsibility. In remembering the Holocaust, we must remember not only the victims, but also the examples of humanity that survived within it. Albanians' role reminds us that even in the darkest times, societies can choose compassion over cruelty and humanity over hate. Thank you.
Good morning, City Councils. By the way, I'm also the member of Mayor's AAPI Council for the city. I'm honored to represent the local Chinese community today and share a meaningful chapter of history about the city of Shanghai during World War II. Between the 1930s and 1940s, more than 20,000 Jewish refugees, mainly from Austria and Germany, found safety in Shanghai while fleeing Nazi persecution. At a time when many countries closed their doors, Shanghai remained open as no entry visa was required. One remarkable individual was Dr. Fengshan He Fengshan, the Consul General of Republic China in Vienna. Despite the great personal risk, he issues thousands of visas to Jewish families, enabling them to escape and travel to Shanghai. His courageous actions, unsung heroes, saved countless lives, earning him the title, the Chinese Schindler. Today, this history preserved at the Shanghai Jewish Refugees Memorial Museum in the Hongkou district, where the artifacts and personal stories tell how Jewish refugees rebuilt their lives in Shanghai. The record also says there were 408 babies born at that period of time. I was born in Shanghai, and I'm deeply grateful that my hometown saved as a safe harbor during one of humanity's darkest times. The story reminds us that compassion and moral courage can change the course of history. Thank you.
Can you state your, before you leave the podium, can you state your name for the minutes, please?
My name is Sunny Duan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And can you start with your name, please? Start with
Good
your name.
morning. Good morning, members of the City Council, and shalom to all our friends who are from the Jewish community, friends and families who are here today. My name is Jose Omila. I am here today proudly representing the Philippine Cultural Foundation, Incorporated, and the Filipino community of Tampa Bay. Like you, I'm here to celebrate the commemoration of the International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Probably you're wondering, what the hell is the connection of the Philippines to the Jewish community? The Philippines' relation with the Jewish people goes back to the year 1600, when the first Jews came to our country investigating how wonderful our country was. But the first settlement of the Jews began in 1870 during the Spanish colonial era, when the Levy brothers, who were escaping from the Franco-Prussian War, came to our country as they established their business in the Philippines and prospered by the year 1898. The first American Jews arrived in our islands during the Spanish-American War. During World War II, more than 1,000 Jews on a ship were denied entry all over the world wherever they went, afraid of being involved in the war. The Philippines, President Manuel L. Quezon, heard about this and asked the ship to sail to the Philippines and welcomed the Jewish community that was on board already for months. The Philippines, that was between 1937 and 1938, the Philippines received more than 10,000 European Jews. In 1947, the United Nations received the request of a Jewish state in Palestine. After several voting from the United Nations Assembly, the votes always ended up as a tie. Most Asian countries did not vote. And so finally, the Philippine ambassador to the United Nations, Carlos P. Romulo, who abstained from voting after 3 weeks of voting from the United Nations Tribunal, was asked to reconsider. And finally, when the votes came up, the tie was broken, and on November 29, 1947, the only Asian nation to support the partition between the Philippine vote, the State of Israel was born. Today, there are probably a little more than 100 Jewish families still living in the Philippines. Today, Filipinos go in and out of Israel with no visa required. Today, there are approximately 30,000 to 50,000 Filipinos working in Israel, mostly employed in various sectors, including hotels and as caregivers. Today, because of our long relation with the Jewish people, Israel and the Philippines remain as one family, respecting each other, the culture and religion, as well as history. Thank you, or as we say it in the Philippines, maraming salamat po. And as they say it in Hebrew, toda raba. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you start with your name, please?
I'm Sudhir Shah. Mr. Chairman, honorable members of the Tampa City Council, and members of the community. Good morning and namaste. My name is Sudhir Shah. I'm a Hindu-American, representing Hindu-American community here today, and the resident of Tampa Bay for the last 40 years, or more than 40 years. I now reside in District 7, represented by my friend, Mr. Councilman, Mr. Luis Vieira. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today as we commemorate International Holocaust Remembrance Day. I would like to share a story of a remarkable, yet lesser known act of moral courage, one that took place far from Europe, but stands firmly within the moral history of the Holocaust. During World War II, as Nazi persecution spread across Europe, hundreds of Polish Jewish children were left orphaned, displaced, and unwanted by the world. Many nations closed their doors. But one man did not. Maharaja Digvijay Singh Ji, Ranjit Singh Ji Jadeja, a ruler of a princely state of Navanagar, now known as Jamnagar, in the state of Gujarat, India, where my family originates, opened his heart and his land. He welcomed more than 600 Polish Jewish orphans to live safely on his estate. He provided them shelter, education, medical care, and dignity. He told these children, who had lost everything, that they were not refugees, but they were guests, and he would be their guardian. Because of his courage, hundreds of lives were saved. The story matters not only because of what it tells us about the past, but because what it demands of us today. Even in our own times, religious minorities continue to face horrific prosecution. In Pakistan, abduction of Hindu and Christian minor girls are tragically common. Many are forcibly converted and married to a man several times their age. In Bangladesh, there are documented reports and videos of Hindu families being brutally attacked, homes looted and burned, women gang raped, and lives destroyed. In a recent incident, a Hindu man named Dipu Chandra Das was brutally murdered. His body hung from a tree and set on fire. As we remember the Holocaust, we must remember that silence and indifference allow such atrocities to continue. The Maharaja's legacy reminds us that moral responsibility does not end at borders, faith, or politics. May we honor the victims of the past by standing firmly for humanity in the present and by choosing courage over indifference whenever innocent lives are under threat. Thank you, and thank you for serving our community.
Thank you.
Members of the council, my name is Alan Cohn. I'm a member of the Tampa Jewish community. I'm a journalist. I am a member of the Charter Review Advisory Commission, and I want to thank Councilman Vieira for doing this today, because I realize this is not always convenient to talk about these issues. Lord knows it's actually controversial. But, you know, my dad was in the infantry in World War II, and he was one of the U.S. servicemen who helped liberate the camps. Like, growing up, never again has been ingrained in me like it has been to all of us. But the reality is our country has not always taken these words and heeded them around the world. And today we see the forces of hate rise, not only across the ocean, but here at home, here in the United States, here in Hillsborough County, here in the city of Tampa. And it comes from both the left and the right, which makes it all that more important for good people everywhere, from all walks of life, from all backgrounds, for all religions and creeds and colors, to stand up together and make real never again. Because as the saying goes, those who forget history are condemned to repeat it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And making sure, and thank you very much to everybody for speaking from the heart. You know, I would be remiss very briefly. I mentioned Tree of Life Synagogue and the murders that happened there about 9 years ago. And one of the reason why they were targeted by that hate-filled man was because of their work for refugees as a synagogue and carrying on the tradition they're talking about in today's time. So just want to say thank you all for sharing from the heart, all of y'all. Thank you very much. And council, if you want to say anything.
Thank you all for the message of hope and humanity this morning. It's much appreciated in sometimes dark times that we remember that there is still good in the world, and that, you know, we all can individually make a difference. Thank you for being here today. Thank you. Thank you.
If you want to get a picture.
Absolutely. Okay. It is, Councilman Miranda.
If I may say something, it's coincidental that our council esteemed member Carlson and I look like we dressed alike tonight. Or this evening. But it was not by him calling me or I called him. It was incidental, purely incidental, and he looks much better now that he's dressed like I am.
Anytime I can try to be like Charlie, it makes me better.
I have no words, and that's rare.
Very rare.
Very rare. Okay, we're going to move on to public comment. We have one online registered speaker we're going to start with. But definitely never last, Martin T. Shelby, would you like to read the rules, please?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, members of the council, members of the public. Martin Shelby, City Council Attorney. Briefly talking about the rules of decorum for today's meeting. Members of the public are allowed a reasonable opportunity at the beginning of today's meeting after the ceremonial to address any item on the agenda before City Council takes official action on the item. Now, you have had the opportunity to fill out cards outside the chambers and place in the box where you would have the opportunity to have your name called by the chair and address the City Council. One card per speaker. Cards are accepted until the start of general public comment, and as I said, each person will be recognized by name by the chair to approach and speak. A 3-minute time limit applies. Please print legibly. Names that cannot be read will not be called. Now, if you're here to speak at a public hearing, and once again, Councilwoman Hurtak, my apologies, there are no second reads today. I don't even know if there are first reads today, actually. If it's set for a public hearing, Council, I know the 1:30 hearing is set for a public hearing. You will have, and I believe number 30, the petition, Council accepts public comment on that as well, but you have that opportunity to speak when those items are called up. But for items on the consent docket and the items on the staff reports, your time to speak is now at the beginning of the meeting. Speakers and members of the public are also reminded to refrain from disruptive behavior, including making vulgar or threatening remarks or making or causing disruptive noises or sounds or displaying signs or graphics. The chair will rule out of order any person who speaks without being recognized or attempts to address the council from outside the speaker area at the podium. Persons failing to comply with the council rules may also be ruled out of order and, at the discretion of the chair, may be removed from the chambers for the remainder of today's meeting. Finally, City Council should refrain from engaging a speaker during public comment, and the public should be aware that City Council does not take questions or have a dialogue with you during general public comment. This is your opportunity to express your position to the City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shelby. Frank Logan, are you in the room? Yeah. Frank Logan, are you here? Okay, good. He was registered for 1:30. I just wanted to bring it to his attention. That was a 1:30 hearing. Michael Randolph, good morning, my friend.
Good morning. My name is Michael Randolph. I hope everybody is doing well today. I'm excited to share our upcoming community wealth building workshop, a cornerstone of the Technology Wealth Building and Job Creation Initiative. Part of the Romeo project, this effort includes a new training center, workforce and business hub, and is set aside for small businesses in the community. This model is setting the national standard, drawing from attention as a blueprint for community empowerment. These workshops are designed to counter the impact of gentrification by advancing anti-displacement strategies that uplift residents rather than uproot them. Across the session, participants gain practical skills for community building, job creation, and community stability. The series begins with business fundamentals, understanding investors and lenders, creating professional proposals, and creating a bankable business plan to secure funding. And then we move to marketing and technology integration, exploring sales foundations alongside emerging tools like ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, and the Web3. These sessions emphasize inclusive strategies that help close the racial wealth gap. Finally, we focus on home-based and e-commerce growth, equipping residents with the strategy to launch and expand online and home enterprise, fostering entrepreneurial opportunity right here in the community. Next, persistence crisis, addressing racial disparity and violence. Despite the decline in crime, racial disparity continues. Black homicide rates remain the higher than for white. On February 27th, a national call featuring representatives from the 8 of the most violent cities around the nation will convene and confront black on black violence. Between 2024 and 2025, black homicide rate jumped from 2.6 to 2.9 per 100,000. The widened gap underscores the urgent need for a national intervention, community-led solution, and sustainable investment in prevention and opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bishop.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I did neglect, I've been informed that I did neglect to mention that when you do call the names, per council's rules, preference is given to those speaking on the agenda items first.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 persons who have registered or who filled out a card. If you have filled out a card, please make sure that one of the aides outside has got that card so they can put you in order. So these first 7 people have indicated they want to speak to agenda items. Please restrict your comments to agenda items because we're giving you preference for speaking. The first speaker is Antonio Daniels, followed by Daryl Hike. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Members of the Tampa City Council, today I'm not here to...
Start with your name, please.
Antonio Daniels.
Thank you.
I'm not here to flatter you. I'm here because of what happened to Antonio Daniels is an embarrassment to the city, to this council, and to the very idea of democratic governance.
Sir, this is for people who want to speak to the agenda items.
Antonio Daniels was peacefully protesting.
Sir, I can put you back in order if you'd like, but we have people.
He did not threaten anyone.
Sir.
He did not incite violence. You called my name, right?
Yes, but I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry,
He
you're
did
out of
not-
order, please.
am I-
No.
Did you not call my name?
Sir,
Did you not call my name?
Because you indicated you want to speak
Okay.
to agenda items.
Did I
Please have your seat.
put in it?
I'll call you up.
Did I put an agenda item on there? Okay, no, I didn't, but you called my name, so let's go ahead and
Sir,
keep going.
you're out of order, please.
Did I interrupt anything you said today, sir?
Sir, I'm so sorry, but
Could you respect what I got to say?
First, as the attorney read
So what I got to
rules-
say is not important?
Sir,
You
you're
called
out of
my name,
order.
right?
Please
How
take
am I
your
out of order?
take
You
your
called my
seat.
name, sir.
Take your
All right.
seat.
I'm gonna finish my 3 minutes.
Thank you. Again, the first speakers are people that are on the agenda. We give you preference because you're on the agenda. I will call everybody else as soon as we're done with the folks that are on the agenda. We've only got this many that have registered to be on the agenda. Daryl Hike. Good morning, Daryl.
Good morning. City Council, for clarity, I'm not speaking on an agenda item, so.
Okay, I'll put you I'll put you on the other list. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Connie Burton. Followed by Valerie Bullock. Good morning, Connie.
Good morning. Items number 2, 25, and 45. First, I want to start off because I'm in the spirit of Dr. King this morning. A young man at 39 years old assassinated, state-sponsored killing. 25, 39, moving to represent the interests of his community. Winning the Nobel Peace Prize, not begging for it, but got it at 35. And the remarkable thing about Dr. King, when he got that prize, he said in his opening comments that he was there to deliver on behalf of 22 million black folks that were still catching hell. Right now, black folks still catching hell. Item number 2, once upon a time, that was the lifeline of black men that had no formal education, nothing but the desire to work. Now it's almost hard as hell to get down there to work at the union based on new federal guidelines. What you did 25 years ago might appear as you try to get one of those badges to work. Item number 25, the Jackson House. We keep on begging for the resources, just as King would say. Black people at that time in 1964, economically, we was at the lowest range of economic in lack of empowerment, the same way we see the Jackson House can't move forward. Where's the resources? Where's the commitment from this city to make it happen? Item number 45, I hope that report about how council will receive criticism, and I don't know what you call hate speech. Dr. King said riots was the language of the unheard. If we're here 3 minutes telling you constantly, year after year, of how we are so disgusted on the lack of progress that this city has not done in behalf of the black community, how you view it, how you feel, we don't care. We are the people, our community, we are the ones suffering. Last week, as Matiznot was taken and arrested, let me tell you a little bit about his history. When this city refused to do anything for young people out of his own pocket, he sponsored tobacco and alcohol-free dances. He has stood on the front line when our community has been hit with nothing but police violence, and this city refused to say anything because of his ongoing policies. We are not going to be silent. He belongs to us. He belongs to us. He represents the interests of the unheard. And so while you go about putting your little item number 45,
Thank you, Connie.
make sure
Thank you,
do not
Connie.
attack our rights to free speech.
Thank you, Connie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Valerie Bullock, good morning, followed by Tara Bluma.
Valerie
No,
Bullock
no,
from
no, no, no.
Constance Leon College here. I want to talk about number 2 and number 4 and 25 also. Number 2 is the economic engine that the Longshoremen have been for Ybor City and Channelside. And we've been coming down here forever begging for us an economic engine in East Tampa. The new people who you all put on the CRA board, they say open up a coffee shop. That'll hire 2 people, and I guarantee you the 2 people won't have hair like mine. We need an economic engine the same way downtown and Channelside pursued companies to come down there. You all need to pursue companies to come in East Tampa. We need manufacturing plants, we need distribution warehouses, and assembly line work. We lost Singleton, Old 97, Florida Steel, Winn-Dixie Warehouse, Duro Bag Company, and we're always talking about the violence. If the economic goes up and the people are able to get jobs, violence will go down. But you got people standing on a corner. Valerie, you got arrested in 1991. Well, call the police if you think I escaped. When do that stop following me? When do I get a fair chance like O'Connor, the police chief did? When do my record don't matter? And another thing, number 4, every time we got come down here, what is it about East Tampa? Oh, we're gonna take their property. Are we gonna clean up their yard and then we're gonna charge them 2 times for us cleaning it up? We need to go back and look at the CRA rules. The CRA rules was designed for black and to help the people in the community like me. Legacy homeowners, 63 years in East Tampa. But my neighbor, they renting an apartment. None of that CRA money funneled down to them. It goes to the man at the airport, and Drew Newman is a nice guy, but he should have never gotten $5 million from East Tampa CRA. CRA have a clause in there. They can help these people bring their property up to code. But we're not using it for that. We're using it to bring new people in. We might get a roof fixed here and there. You might get windows fixed if you want them to put a 30-year lien on your house. Right. We need to make the field equitable. And as far as the Jackson Heights, I'm tired of talking about it. I'm ready for y'all to be about it.
All right. I noticed when I folks that are new here, we don't do community feedback during the speech. Everybody, this is kind of like a courtroom. Everybody kind of stays silent. I get the fact you guys are. This is a rule of order. So you guys remain silent, okay? Otherwise, I'll rule you out and ask you to leave. Okay? You hear that? Yes, yes. I'm chair of council, and we have rules. We're enforce the rules. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
Last opportunity. Let's just stay silent, and let's conform with the rules. Thank you. Tara Bluma, followed by LaShow Tim something. Thank you. Kai Tara.
Good morning. I'm Tara Bluma. In the coming weeks, you will decide how to spend the $5 million in leftover funds from last year. Please remember south of Gandy neighborhoods when you do so. SOG has exploded, adding over 9,000 new units in the past 9 years, as you can see from this green paper I just passed out. As a direct result of this development and these units, we've contributed more than $11 million in taxes additional per year for the city, just from those units. We deal with the increased traffic, noise, and flooding. We would like to get something for all of that trouble. Councilman Miranda asked over a year ago for a breakdown in city spending by council district. That information was never provided. If it had been provided, we would have seen the shocking disparity. I have a few pictures for you of what our parks look like in south of Gandy right now for our extra $10 million a year in taxes. Every time it rains at Bobby Hicks, it becomes a swimming pool. We have graffiti all over our parks. Camping. And about half the shopping carts in the city. This is what we're getting for our extra $10 million. I request that $3.5 million, of the excess funds be spent repairing and upgrading the parks in South Tampa, specifically south of Gandy. With my extra time, I'd like to talk about what I was going to talk about last week, which is the discussion about the dock repairs at JBL. Not because it's a huge amount of money, but because it highlights the lack of transparency in spending taxpayer dollars. First, it went on the consent agenda, so you would approve $300,000 in vague dock repairs. There was no information given to you as to the circumstances. What happened? When did it happen? You didn't know. Only when you were asked were you told that someone hit the dock. Okay, who hit the dock? Thank you, Councilwoman Young, for asking if we had insurance. I also would have asked, did the person who hit the dock have insurance? Are we trying to recoup costs from that guy? If we learned that yes, we could file a claim, but that it would take too long. Well, you know, the dock repairs at Ballast Point Park are taking too long as well. And if we opened ourselves up to liability every time we didn't repair something that was a safety hazard, Ballast Point would have gotten at least a fraction of this sense of urgency. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. LaShua, followed by Steve McElhaney. L-A-S, is it LaShawn? L-A-S-H-A-U, and it's either N or H. LaShawn? She left. Okay, very good. Steve McElhaney.
Good morning, Council. I'm here to speak about items 17, 18, and 39, and I know that you've continued that. However, you know, the issue is the builders were charged with paying the fees for trees that they could not plant on the site. And there was a lot of money sitting in that account. And council's already gone on the record saying, no, do not use tree trust fund money for other projects. And I'm not sure when does no mean no. It doesn't mean maybe. It doesn't mean come back in a month or 2 months or 3 months. It means no. You know, for a long time, the builders have been accused of not doing their part, for not giving back to the community and not, you know, holding the code in high esteem. And it gets tiring when you put money into an account. I mean, previously they lost $5 million that went for plantings of flowers on Bayshore. And it just lost. It wasn't accountable for anything. And now there's $3 million in that account, and they're trying to change that. Type 1 trees and type 2 trees is what is required That's what's supposed to be there. It's shade trees, not ornamentals. And when you put your money in there and you take it away from a home or any other business that's being built, it should go to where it was its intended purpose and not be used as a piggy bank to fund something else. It gets tiring to come back up and say, you know, plant the trees. The criteria for planting a tree is very difficult. Chair, you called me out several months ago to get a tree for somebody, Stephanie Pointer in the back. You called me out and said, get her a tree. So we went to work on getting her a tree. The regulations are so onerous that it's very difficult to plant trees. But you need to look at the policies and look at the criteria that they're using for you to enable you to get a tree. The trees are there, the money's there, let's use it for the intended purpose and not use the tree trust fund as a piggy bank to raid it for some other project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So the rest of the speakers are not on the agenda item, so we'll start with Antonio Daniel, followed by Darrell Hyde. Antonio? Good morning. Start with your name, please.
Sure, let me speak the first time. As I was saying, Antonio Daniels was peacefully protesting peacefully. He did not threaten anyone. He did not incite violence. He did not disrupt this meeting any more than disagreement itself naturally does in a democracy. What he did was express an opinion you didn't like. And for that, he was arrested and trespassed. That should alarm every single person in this room. This is a grown council, elected officials, not appointed officials, adults entrusted with power. And yet, when confronted with adverse opinions from a man who has stood for this community for decades, the response was not dialogue, not patience, not leadership. The response was punishment. Let's be very clear. The freedom of speech is not freedom of speech only when it's comfortable, polite, or flattering.
Come on, guys.
It exists precisely for moments like this when someone challenges power, when someone makes you uncomfortable, when someone refuses to be quiet just because you're seated behind a dais.
Okay.
Antonio Daniels was not trespassed because he was dangerous.
Be respectful of the speaker, please. This is his 3 minutes to express his opinion.
I'm good. I'm happy with what they're doing. Don't interrupt. You interrupted me.
We can't hear.
He was trespassed because he was inconvenient, and that raises a serious question. If you can trespass a man from a public city council meeting for peacefully expressing dissent, what are you going to do next? Trespassing from protesting on the sidewalk outside this building, from speaking at a rally, from existing anywhere near power with an opinion you don't like? That's not governance. That is fragility masquerading as authority. The city is facing real problems: housing instability, rising cost of living, public safety concerns, infrastructure failures, environmental risks. I could go on. And instead of focusing on those, this council chose to fixate on what one person was wearing and how one voice made you feel. This city, that is small and that is unserious. And frankly, it's beneath the office you hold. You are not entitled to comfort. You are not entitled to praise. You are not entitled to silence from public. You are entitled only to accountability. And I'm gonna be on your ass.
Thank you, Antonio. No. One more time, I'm gonna ask you to leave. You can't do that, guys. Come on, we have to stay to decorum. Darrell Hike, followed by Marty Green.
Good morning, City Council. Darrell Hike. When I was a little boy growing up in the church, my dad used to read this scripture to me. Malachi 3rd chapter, 8th through the 18th verse. And it reads, will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have you robbed me? In tithes and offering. You are cursed with the curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house. And prove me now herewith, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, so that there will not be room enough to receive it. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sake, and he shall not destroy the fruit of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before its time. And all nations shall call you blessed, for you shall be delightsome land, saith the Lord of hosts. I bring reference to that scripture because, or let me bring you some context. At that point in time, the Levitican priests were restricted or held back from going and working out in the field, let's say. They were held back, they were restricted from going out and having a income source to come in, so they were then being fed by what was in the storehouse. And so what was in the storehouse was set aside for their substance, for them to eat, for them to drink, for them to participate in the economy. And so when I read this scripture and I thought about something, I said, hold on. These people, the Levitican priests, were restricted. They had some things that said they couldn't do what they were supposed to do. And God said to the people, restore the storehouse. Give them back which was there. That brings me back to resolution number 568. Black people have been going before God forever for the land. And as we go before God for the land, well, we found ourselves in ships coming to the U.S. for slavery. And as we got over to the U.S., we got punished. We got our livelihood taken away from us. We suffered at the hands of white slavery, Jim Crowism, and all the things you said in resolution number 568. So today, according to the scripture, you are cursed with the curse, for ye have robbed God's people. And because of that robbery, you can get this thing right where he says, I will restore back to you.
Thank you, Darrell.
Correct the wrong.
Thank you. Marty Green, followed by Tiffany Poole.
You said Tiffany Poole?
Marty Green first. Is Marty in the house? No, okay, so Tiffany, Marty's here, okay, come on, Marty. Followed by Tiffany Poole, you'll be next.
My name is Marty Green. I got a county uniform on because they said I can't wear the city uniform, but they haven't gave me uniforms in like 3 years. But on January 12th, I notified HR, and I let them know that an employee said that Michael Brown was coming back. He was coming back with a vengeance for everyone that told on him. And to me, that seems like that's going to be retaliation. So I'm going to go farther and show how does this work. Now, let me put this. This is when Mr. Brown got wrote up. So it says, after fully investigating the above incident, it's been concluded that he filed a false report against another employee to try to get them fired. Mr. Brown been used and also stated he has used his position to try to get employees fired. Now, I want to say that I came for 1,000 reasons, but you know what? I'm going to say I came for $1,000. That's what Mr. Brown has robbed an employee for. He took $1,000 for a truck that's supposed to have been bought. Mr. Brown went and took that truck back and told the employee he's not paying him. So therefore, all this was going on, and the city is notified that all the crooked stuff that Mr. Brown he's been doing and still doing. And it shows in the paperwork that Mr. Brown, he a lie, he'll steal, he'll do anything to move forward and to use his position as power to do anything to employees. Now, the city of Tampa fired Keith O'Connor because Keith had cashed a lottery ticket in. I've showed you text messages that I paid Mr. Brown, was forced to pay Mr. Brown to work overtime. So therefore, you tell me what's the difference between him and Keith O'Connor? There's no difference. So Mr. Keith O'Connor, if Mr. Brown is still here, Keith should still be here as well. Mr. Brown should definitely been in an investigation. I done wrote the Tampa, downtown and asked them, hey, is Mr. Brown in an investigation? What's going on? They would not answer my requests. which that's against the law because under the Sunshine Law, they supposed to do that, and I did it as a public servant. I mean, as a public person who I am. So now saying that to say this, that $1,000 that Mr. Brown took, and now that y'all know about it, you ask yourself, what would a person do for $1,000? Now you could risk getting someone hurt. You could risk getting someone killed about $1,000. You don't know what a person going through in this economy and what's going on right now. And as of right now, John Bennett need to watch out because FDLE is investigating him and Susan. I'll be back next week. I got some more for you.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Tiffany Poole, followed by Ashley Moreau. Good morning, Tiffany. Morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
My name is Tiffany Poole. I'm a federal employee. I'm an awesome citizen. Usually of Hillsborough County. I'm usually voting Hillsborough County. I'm never usually with the city. I got two things. I just finished with brain surgery. Thank God I'm alive, right? First of all, to my fellow citizens, I have children. First of all, I got 2 items. I'm late on one of them, 66. It was an old one with the bikes. My son ride an e-bike. Y'all doing these fines? I hate that. If my baby ever get a fine, y'all gonna be in trouble with me. Because my baby deserved the catwalk, as we used to call it in the 80s. He can catwalk his bike. And I be damn, and I'm a Christian, if he's gonna get a damn citation for catwalking or wheeling on his bike. And he can go down to the Riverwalk because I pay taxes. And I'm finna get the hell out of the city and go back to the county and vote over there. But I'm gonna vote one more time for the city before I leave here. And one more other thing about Mr. Daniels. Why is that man locked up? For a bra? I done seen so many people up on Kennedy with all kind of crazy stuff protesting. And they don't get arrested. People come up in here all the time. I watch it online. With all kind of stuff. They say all kind of stuff. And they never get locked up because he went down to Davis Island and showed his butt. He can say what he want to say. A grown man. I'm sorry. Y'all got to get your emotions out of stuff. This man should not still be locked up. I could have been dead August 15th. This man should have been out of jail. He's showing these kids that they can get a big home in the hood. When you pass by 22nd, you see a big house that I don't have. God knows I want one, and I'm going to get me one. But he has one. A bra or no bra, God damn it, he came in here with one on. And he showed y'all, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry how he came with it. Maybe he can explain why he came with what he came with on. But that man should be out so he can do what he need to do. And he's here all the time protesting and saying what he need to do when some of us can't do. Because I know I can't be here all the time. But I thank God I'm here today to witness a lot of stuff that go on in here that I never been able to witness. And it's sad what goes on here. And it's some good stuff because I was able to see the Black History thing that I'm going to attend.
Thank you, Ms. Poole. Thank you so much. The next speaker is Ashley Moreau, followed by
Y'all gotta
Johnny
do better.
Johnson. Ashley Moreau, followed by Johnny Johnson. Good morning, Ashley.
Hello, I'm Ashley, and I'm sharing Tampa's Black History. So we're going to go back to the Freedmen's Bureau. I talked about the homestead documents where people were able to come, Black people were able to come and homestead property. And I actually wanted to go a little bit further back because before the Freedmen's Bureau came here, there was an inspector that came by the name of George Thompson. And when he came here, it was December of 1865, so slavery had recently ended. And he notated how and noticed and observed Black people here in this area working for $1 per day. That was the rate for labor. And he was trying to get somebody to take him from Tampa to Fort Myers. And he couldn't find anybody because nobody was willing to work for less than $1. And that just speaks to our labor and our history. And I feel like they knew their worth. So I thought that was pretty important. Also during that time, Ku Klux Klan was brewing over in Central Florida in Brooksville by a man by the name of Walter T. Saxon. There's Saxon Manor over there. They have weddings and such at this building still over in Brooksville, which I do not agree with. And I'll show y'all pictures later. I'm gonna try to do the speaking first so that way I don't get lost. And he was one of the organizers of the Ku Klux Klan in Hernando County. During that time, there was a lot of unrest here in Tampa. There's a newspaper article that was shown in New Orleans about how there were noses and heads being broken by the military and Negroes. So there was some type of big brawl here that was not reported in our newspaper, but it was reported in theirs for some reason. I thought that was interesting. During that time, Cyrus Charles became the first black city councilman. He didn't serve because they dissolved the city. They did not want somebody black in leadership during that time. So they didn't want to be the city of Tampa, but they became the county of Hillsborough, and Cyrus Charles and Mills Holocaust served as the first black councilman here in this area. And Cyrus Charles actually owned a subdivision, which was where the Strass Center is currently. So here's some archives that you guys can look at that I was just talking about. Here's George Thompson and his letter that he wrote when he did his survey of Florida for the Freedmen's Bureau in 1866. Here is Walter Saxon and his little manor that is still in operation today, and it hosts weddings. This is the newspaper article from Louisiana where they talked about a lively brawl that took place with noses and heads being damaged. And I don't think it ended peacefully. There's no report of what actually happened after this, and I think that's very important. And then this is Cyrus Charles. This is the land that he actually had a subdivision for, which is located where the Strass is. The black man, and he homesteaded that land. That is the plat of land that he owned. And we'll get into this next week. This is when they start the black militia, and we'll go through that.
Thank you,
Thank
Ashley.
y'all.
Always love your presentations. Johnny Johnson, followed by Bishop Michelle B. Patty. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Council. I come down here this morning as a concerned citizen. For too long, our neighborhoods has been ground zero for predatory practices and neglect. I live over in East Tampa, approximately 2 blocks. I just come down here to find out when we was gonna stand up and use code enforcement as you guys did to come through our neighborhoods for the regentrification and the rebuild. On my street alone, I got 6 new houses, and the people that were living in a couple of other houses got bought out and pushed away. So I want to know, our kids are innocent. When do we stand up for them? It's located at 4330 North 40th Street. This particular store is called Silver Dollar. Me and some other concerned citizens have been down to the store. The store guy admits that they have sex toys in this store. You have to be 18 to go in Toys on Nebraska and Fletcher. The sex toys are right across from the candy. They also had their fair share of issues, from a little 9-year-old being shot up there, illegal drug activity. I've seen the cops up there in the last month twice doing some operations to shut down the illegal stuff that's going on. So I just want the city council to have code enforcement to actually do their job. Come in and protect our kids. They are innocent. We see they don't have any moral compass. The guy behind the store admitted they have sex toys, and his reasoning was, you guys got their business license number and stuff, and they buying from a vendor. So since the vendor is selling them this stuff, they have the right to sell it in their store. Because if the vendor don't have it, then they won't have it. So everything the vendor sell them, if he sell them, bring them crack cocaine and everything else, he telling me that he can sell it in his store because the city has their business license, and whatever the vendor sell them, he's going. Just on the moral front, as a society, we have lost our moral compass. Humans are awful to each other. I'd rather run with lions and bears because I know they're gonna attack when they're hungry or they feel in fear. Well, people get up every morning and prey on another human being downfall. That is sickening. And capitalism is very sickening. We live in a capitalist country. Our community, again, has been ground zero for predatory practices and neglect. It's about time, and it's the opportune time to stand up and do something. We all have a time to do something great. Let's do something great and continue to protect our kids in the future. Y'all done went from red line to gentrification. Don't kill us mentally. We're already mentally stressed out and stuff, so we're asking the council to do something about these issues that's facing East Tampa.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Bishop Michelle B. Patty, followed by John Green.
With all due respect, Councilman.
Yes, ma'am.
Chairman, Mr. Green was supposed to go first.
Okay, Mr. Green, we'll do that. And then it'll be followed by you, Bishop. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Green.
Good morning, John Green. Today I want to talk about why sex toys can be harmful to children, not because of adult choices, but because of children's safety, development, and well-being. Children are still forming their understanding of their bodies, relationships, and boundaries. Exposure to adult sexual objects can confuse the process. When children encounter items that are meant strictly for adult sexual use, it can blur the lines between age-appropriate curiosity and adult behavior, which they are not emotionally or mentally prepared to understand. Another concern is normalization. When adult sexual items are visible or easily accessible, children may come to see them as ordinary toys. This can reduce their ability to recognize what is appropriate and inappropriate, making it harder for them to set boundaries or speak up if something feels wrong. Protecting these boundaries is essential to preventing exploitation and abuse. Finally, children deserve environments that support healthy, age-appropriate growth. Just as we restrict access to alcohol or medications, we should also ensure that adult sexual products are kept out of the reach and out of sight. In conclusion, this is not about judging adults, but about prioritizing children. Keeping adults' items away from children help protect their safety, support healthy development, and ensure they can grow up with clear, appropriate boundaries. The question that I want to pose to this council and to the city, when you at home, would you leave a dildo or any type of sex toys in front of your children? This is the level of disrespect that this community with these convenience stores is given to the black community. And not only there, I went to Sefner and I went to a convenience store there, and it's the same. Now, in terms of process, when we went to the store, they told me, I called the non-emergency number. They sent me to the police office. Went to the police office. They sent me to code enforcement. Talked to code enforcement. They sent me to zoning. Then zoning sent me back to code enforcement. I filed a complaint. Now, I want to see what the city is really about, and do you really care about all of our children? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Bishop Michelle B. Patty, followed by Elvis Pickett. Hey guys, the reason why, let me explain something about that, why I'm so hard on the comment stuff, is because it's good. I know everybody wants to have that validation, but think about the other side. If you're booing or hissing speakers, I got to be consistent in enforcing the rules. It's good that you applaud that, but I got to be consistent. You don't want me interpreting like who I want to allow you to react and who I don't want to react. So it's just got to be consistent. We have to be the same for everybody. Otherwise, you don't want me picking and choosing who I want to say yes and no to. So, Bishop Michelle B. Patty, followed by Elvis Pickett.
Thank you. Good morning, Council. Bishop Michelle B. Patty. You have the ordinance from the state of Florida. There's already an ordinance on the book about these sex toys and the age appropriate. Florida is the third largest in the nation for human sex trafficking, third in the nation. We have a convenience store We're talking about the silver dollar. And I gave you all pictures showing you that here at the checkout counter, when a child come to that counter to check out for their candy, their cookies, they're met with sex toys. Right there. There it is. Evidence. These silver dollar folks say that they are able to do this with your blessing, and we know according to the statute that that is not so. So we're asking, I want to thank the councilwoman. I understand that at the last meeting, she asked that the staff look into ordinance for the city. But right here at 847.013, it's a protection of minors, prohibit of certain acts, and they're talking about these sex toys and different things should not be for 17 kids 17 years and younger rather. As used in section knowing the same meaning set forth is any person under the age of 18. A violation of this provision of this section constitutes a felony of 3rd degree. What we're asking for this morning is that the council make an ordinance where the police can do their job. Because if they walk in that convenience store and they see what we have witnessed, these sex toys, then they would be able to have them removed. They would be able to charge them with a violation, which we see as a 3rd degree violation. This is in the African American community. When I listened to the Jewish Holocaust, I thought they was talking about Africa, what happened to us as Africans and brought to this country. But then when I opened my eyes, no, they're talking about something that never happened in this country, but slavery did. So we want the same respect that others are asking. We're trying to preserve the innocence of our children. No one can dictate who's in that store, what perverts are in there. When these kids are there and they're thinking this is normal because you see the different colors, neon orange, red, green. So our kids think that this is a normal thing. You have a CRA out there, people concerned about the store and their breakfast. One of the things the CRA can do is make sure that you take entrepreneurs and start, let blacks have some stores out there. They have the money that they can set up entrepreneurs so that they won't miss out. It won't be a food desert. So here we're asking that you all do your due diligence, that you do put in this ordinance, do your job. The Florida Constitution has already set the guideline. This is not something that can be done, but here in the city, you need to take care of business. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bishop. Elvis Piggott, followed by Pastor Frank Williams. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, council. I come 2 reasons. First reason, I come to just be clear.
Start with your name, Elvis.
Oh, my name is Elvis Piggott. I come just to address the council. The accommodations is wonderful, sounds real great, just disappointing at times. We often have good energy and exude how serious we are when it comes down to every race but black. It's ironic that I've watched at home countless of times to Councilman Luis Vieira, how passionate he is when it comes down to dealing with disabled, disabilities. I've watched when it comes down to when we talk about the Jews. I've watched how serious we are when it comes down to LGBTQ. We take action, we get things done, we pass bills, ordinance, and I'll delegate money and fight with the administration to get things done. But something about it when it comes to African Americans, they are almost treated like low class, treated as if they're not important. It's amazing. And I understand that we often talk, because I've dealt with a lot of the politicians concerning, they don't vote. Well, I understand. I want to say that the move that took place here in City Council, when we decide to use our leverage and ego and to cause a man to be kicked out, I don't believe in homophobic stuff. It's inappropriate. By all means, we should most definitely conduct ourselves in a good manner. But let's make no mistake that we do not get to dictate when we talk about free speech predicated on how we feel. And that item is going to come up, and I just hope that you guys remember, at the end of the day, African Americans does not sleep. We're wide awake. We see what's happening. We won't keep silent. We'll continue to fight, and it is our due diligence. We're going to make our responsibility to get out and vote in 2027. If we've never voted before, You'll see a great turnout this time, Chair. And I want to acknowledge and show something real quickly, if you allow me, to talk about Silver Dollar, since they keep mentioning it, which is absolutely horrifying. But I talked with 11 of the owners. We had a meeting about this. Those things real quickly, when you look at it, so many things. But I'll say that they have the signs is displayed 21 and older. They also have make sure that there's no soliciting, no loitering outside. They also have no sex toys, that it's visible by candy. Those are very down at the bottom. They're in boxes that has no dildos and stuff. We just got a 16-year-old girl killed in Sulphur Springs while we're running behind sex toys.
Thank you, Mr. Bishop. Pastor Frank Williams, followed by Stephanie Pointer. Good morning, Pastor. Take your time. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. My name is Pastor Williams, located at 1112 East Scott Street. And I thank God for the opportunity that you all have given these people to open up their hearts out to you and tell you the truth. You know, it's so sad the way you all treat people of color and don't give a damn about the white folk. But y'all mistreat us and think we're going to sit back and take it. People are now opening up and letting you know what their feelings are. And that's good. I used to bring in flyers and I give them to that lawyer here and he give them back to me. Cause I tell him, hey, make sure the mayor get one of these flyers. Then I can't pass out no flyer to you all no more because it ain't nothing but Bible scripture. It ain't nothing sad. It ain't no sex toys or nothing like that. Ain't nothing but Bible scripture. And if you don't want to hear Bible scripture, what do you want us to talk about? We talk about y'all, but y'all don't want to do nothing for us. We still need some help. And I don't know whether it's good for us to come to the city council or what. Because they don't seem to want to do nothing for us. And we all mistreated. Nobody want to hear. This is the first time I ever heard some of these people come out and talk like me. And that's a blessing. Because we got to recognize who God is. And that's why they don't want me talking. And they got a list out there, and I signed the list. Then they got a card. They tell me, hey, I didn't sign the card. So I go out there, and ain't no cards out there. So what can I do? We can't do nothing. I know what you're talking about, but I ain't seen none out there today, not yesterday, today. But we have to understand, we are citizens of the United States of America. And you know what? We should be treated like citizens of the United States of America. And you know what? Y'all, you need to take that public comment off of that, because y'all don't want us to talk about the public to talk to you. Y'all want us to sign an agenda that we only can talk about what's on that paper I got. And I ain't got the time to read this to talk about it, because y'all aren't going to give me that much time. I get up there up here 3 minutes, and y'all done rung the bell in 15 seconds. And so we have to understand, treat us like people. That's all we are. Treat us like people. And I'm going to sit down. Y'all ain't going to have to.
Pastor, it's good to see you this morning. I appreciate when you sing to us, though, so next time give us a song. Stephanie Pointer.
Good morning, Stephanie Pointer. Congratulations to Miss Ashley Morrow for being the chair of the Charter Review Commission. I was quite impressed with many of the members that were chosen by council. There were a few folks who I considered to be obstructionists who are on the committee. Didn't want to follow the rules that you guys set out, which I thought was kind of rude and maybe even disrespectful. But I do firmly believe that the alternates, and this was not given consideration, the alternates should be given a opportunity at each meeting to at least give 3 minutes worth of feedback, because currently they don't have any ability to do any feedback on what they see and hear during the meetings. I'd like to know who hit the docks, and even if it takes 6 years to get the money for the docks. That's what insurance companies are for. Insurance companies have to pay for people who damage things. If I hit this building with my car, you can believe you're behind that somebody would be calling my insurance company. I started looking at this morning. This is like, if you look up capital improvement projects in the city of Tampa, you get this page. But it's funny because somebody who used to be staff asked me for an updated version of this page, which is also called the capital improvement projects page. Okay, this is our line items in our budget. Now, what's interesting is I started looking while I was back here. This was not on my speech this morning, but a lot of this stuff that's on here is not on this website. And like I said, somebody whose staff reached out to me this morning, and their previous copy was from 2023. This thing is hidden. Where is it? Why is it not published? Why can we not see every penny that's being spent throughout this process? Why is it not here? They don't match. They should match. Just saying. So I'll get you a copy of it. And let's see. I got some other issues. Jackson House, Station 24, Union Station, what do they all have in common? They're called slow roll. Somebody doesn't want it done, so they've been dragging their butt on the carpet instead of getting the work done. But by God, Big Blue went on the market while y'all were on break. Give me a break, man. Somebody has already got a buyer for it. I cannot wait to see who it is. Somebody's already got a buyer, or there wouldn't be an RFP put out for it. You know what else happens really slow in this city that sucks? Is the city pays for all these reports and everything like that, and then they ignore them. The mobility study, ignored for 2 years, 2 full years. And then we had to pay another $100,000 to renew it, okay? Coastal Area Action Plan, it got 5 minutes in front of this council, and exactly 0 has been done for South of Gandy or Palmetto Beach, which were both part of that. The Davis Island Plan, nobody even knew that it existed until some lady accosted our chair. So we need to start taking a look and actually reading the reports.
Thank you, Ms. Pointer.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes public comment. Good morning, everybody. So we are now moving on to, is there any request for public for reconsideration of legislative matters? Hearing none. Councilwoman Hurtak. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're going to move on now to the consent agenda. Councilwoman Young had requested to speak to item 4.
Yes. Wait, are we speaking of moving items right now?
Well, you had asked us.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, no, I just wanted to speak to item 4. So, let me get my bearings. So, we have some people or businesses or whoever that purchase properties in neighborhoods and they do not keep them up. And in my own neighborhood, I have seen it happen. And you know, you are sitting there and you're driving past these, you know, eyesore of a place, and there's just no investment to it at all. Especially, and you have a lot of communities. I know it's particularly in our East Tampa and Sulphur Springs areas that, you know, you have community that really wants to start to beautify their neighborhood and see some, you know, some positive change. And then you have people who have homes that just don't care to keep them up. And so I guess it's more of just like a PSA. If you have a home in a neighborhood that you're just not keeping it up, either give it to somebody that really cares, or do something. But because this costs us money to have to go and clean up after someone who just is refusing to. Now, I understand if there are, you know, seniors or elderly or disabled who need assistance, that is a completely different case. But for the people that know that you have a home or you have a property in a neighborhood and you are just choosing not to upkeep it and you have the means to do so, please stop doing that, because we don't want to see that anymore. Our communities are really trying to beautify and want to see some positive things in their neighborhood. So stop doing that. So that was really the only thing. It's more just like a PSA, because I'm sick of seeing it. I drive past a home in my neighborhood every day. It's been years, and this person doesn't even live in Tampa, and the home is just sitting there deteriorating. When there was a hurricane, the home flooded. There was a family living in there. The person didn't come back until months. So it's more just like a PSA. Stop, if you don't care about the neighborhood, stop purchasing the home. If you have a business or a storefront and you don't care, stop purchasing homes in our communities so that we could really start to see some beautification. So that was really all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Councilwoman Hurtak.
I couldn't agree with you more, and so I'm going to recommend that you reach out to Bobby Creighton
Yes.
with Vacant to Vibrant.
Yes.
I'm actually going to the Vacant to Vibrant conference up in Pittsburgh in September. So if you have any interest in that, Darlene can talk to Kelly. Because I'm planning to go for this very reason, to find out what we can do to energize and get some properties that are just sitting there. What do we do? And what are some incentives we can use? So I am 1,000% with you. Thank you for that.
I think we find that a lot of these properties too are not homeowner occupied.
Yes.
They're investors that come in and really to exploit the community. And they sit on these things and they don't take care of them, and the people that are living there and trying to raise families suffer because of those consequences.
Yes. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Young, would you like to move items 4 through 8, please?
Yes, I move items 4 through 8.
Second. We have a motion from Councilwoman Young, a second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Infrastructure Committee, Councilman Guido Maniscalco, 9 through 15.
Thank you. I move
Excuse me,
items-
we have 9 through 13.
Move items 9 through 13.
We have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco, a second from Councilwoman Hurtak. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, we have a request for a separate vote on items 14 and 15. So did you want to speak to that, Councilman?
No, I just want to vote no, that's all.
Okay, very good. So Councilman Maniscalco, would you like to move item 14?
I'm going to move items 14 and 15.
Is that okay? Do you want separate votes, or do you want?
No, it's fine.
Okay, so we have a motion to move items 14 and 15 from Councilman Maniscalco, a second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Okay,
Motion carried with Carlson voting no.
very good. Thank you. Councilman Carlson.
No, next one, sorry.
Councilman Miranda, would you like to move items 16 and 17?
I move item number 16 and 17 on the Finance Committee, sir.
We have a motion from Councilman Miranda, a second from Councilman Vieira. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Councilman Carlson, 19 through 28.
So number 20, my firm works with a company that may be related to this. Although we don't work on this issue, have nothing to do with it. I just under advice of counsel, I'm going to recuse myself from that. We'll turn in my form later. So I'd like to move 19 and then 21 through
28.
28.
So we have a motion from Councilman Carlson moving 19 through 21 and 21 through 28. Second from Councilman Vieira. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Councilman Carlson is recusing himself from item 20. Councilwoman Young, would you move item 20, please?
Move item 20.
Thank you. We have a motion from Councilwoman Young, a second from?
Second.
Second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Motion carried with Carlson abstaining.
Thank you.
I move item 29.
It's a heavy lift. Are you sure you're good with that? Yeah. Councilwoman Hurtak moves item 29 in the Mobility and Asset Management Committee category. Councilman Maniscalco seconds. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. We are past 10:30, so we're good. Okay. We have a motion to open the 10:30 public hearings from Councilman Maniscalco, a second from Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. 10:30 public hearings are open. Item number 30. Morning.
Good morning, Council. Heather Bonds, Historic Preservation Specialist. Today, I am privileged to present the Historic Preservation Commission's recommendation to grant local historic landmark status at 2708 North 18th Street, of which we have titled the Nieto-Fuente Buckeye. I could please have my PowerPoint.
We got it on ours. We need it on the public monitors, please. There we go.
All right, thank you. All right. This application was initiated by owner Nieto-Fuente of Black Orchard LLC and their agent Roger Grunka. Applications for local landmarks are reviewed by the HPC for a recommendation and must meet the criteria of section 27-257. Local historic landmark designations are an important preservation tool that protects and safeguards historic resources from demolition and non-compatible alterations. Most importantly, it promotes and represents Tampa's tangible history. It is important to note that this structure is outside the Ybor City Local Historic District, but it is a contributing structure to the National Register Landmark District. That does not offer protections. That's why we're here today, to provide it an ordinance with protection. 2708 North 18th Street is located on the southwest corner of 17th Avenue and 18th Street. As shown on the Sanborn map, the structure remains on site with much of the surrounding historic structures that have remained for over 100 years. With our research, we have determined that this structure was built about 1923, as it appears in the 1924 city directory and the 1925 Sanborn map. Here's a recent picture of the structure. As I mentioned, there has been little change to the surrounding area. You see the small casitas where the cigar workers once worked. You see the clock tower of the cigar factory behind it, which is now the Newman Cigar Factory. This structure's form is of the frame vernacular architectural style, with a wood frame on pier foundation with horizontal wood siding. Windows would have been wood, but some have been replaced with aluminum. As I mentioned, we dubbed this structure the Nieto-Fuente Buckeye. A Buckeye was a small, often family-owned cigar factory, also known as Chicalas. Ybor City, as well as West Tampa, had neighborhoods known as barrios, and each barrio was typically centered around a large cigar factory, casitas, bakeries, schools, churches, and sprinkled throughout the homes were these Buckeyes. And they helped support and supplement families like the Nietos and later the Fuentes to serve as their startups to attempt to make a name for themselves. Buckeyes also played an important role during the Depression, offering cheaper cigars than the factory-rolled cigars. They were often family-run, with the kids rolling cigars as allowance or an after-school task. This was actually reported by Arturo Fuente's son, Carlos. He had a certain amount of cigars he had to roll after school each day. The two main families that operated small-scale cigar factories here were the Nietos and the Fuentes. Vicente Nieto and his brothers and one sister constructed this building for their home and family-run cigar business. Vicente established cigar sales also in San Francisco and sold his Ybor cigars here and there for between 15 to 20 years. The three Nieto brothers died between 1932 and 1944, with the Nieto Brothers Cigars factory last being listed in the city directories in 1944. Their sister Pastora continued to live here until her death in 1947, when she left her estate to her family back in Spain. They sold off the property, and there were other owners, until the structure's most well-known occupant bought the building in 1960, and that's Arturo Fuente. Arturo Fuente arrived from Cuba in 1912 and originally opened a factory in West Tampa, which was destroyed by a fire in 1924. For over 22 years, he tried to rebuild his brand. He worked as a cigar roller in other factories and rolled at his house with his family after those shifts. When the interstate came through, his home was slated for demolition, and he purchased this structure on 18th Avenue. 3 Fuente generations lived and worked here until the Arturo Fuente brand was reestablished and they could build another large cigar factory in Ybor City. Upon the Cuban embargo on tobacco leaves, Fuente was one of the first companies to experiment with other leaves from different countries until he found a blend that matched the taste that so many cigar smokers preferred in their Cuban cigars. Fuente Cigars was one of the only companies to survive that embargo. And this building is where he rebuilt himself once again, and to keep Tampa as a city known for its fine cigars. The importance of this structure is as one of the last known Buckeyes to operate, and also because of its associations with one of the largest cigar manufacturers in the world still today. In historic preservation, we often have to address changes that have taken place over a structure's history. For example, as you can see, This structure has gone through several changes over 100 years. Being that part of the significance of this structure is its association with Fuente, we consider the changes he made to the building in the 60s and 70s as significant as the century-old portions of the structure. He also added a second floor addition, which was just a smaller section when the Nietos lived upstairs. We mention this to clarify that we propose to protect the additions made by the Fuentes and would not recommend removing those additions to turn it back to the 1925 configuration. In presenting this case to the HPC, the application was received on time and noticed correctly. On September 16th, the HPC unanimously voted to recommend to City Council to grant landmark status to the structure, of which the Planning Commission concurred in a finding of consistent with the comprehensive plan. Specific to our criteria, we found that it is consistent with 27-256 with the criteria sections aligning with the criteria of the National Register of Historic Places, and that criteria A, being associated with significant events and patterns of our history, our finding that it's associated with Ybor City's cigar industry, which is a significant period in Tampa's history. Criterion B, being associated with a significant person, our finding being with Arturo Fuente, who is a defining and prominent leader in the cigar industries and whose brand continues to bring world-renowned recognition to Tampa's cigar industry. And C, that embodies a distinctive characteristic of building type, in this case, a Buckeye cigar factory, of which we do not have any singular of this type of building represented in our landmark list. As I end my presentation and present our staff recommendation, which is to hopefully approve this as a local landmark, I want to express our gratitude to Leanna Fuente and her agent, Roger Gronka, for bringing this forward voluntarily to us. If approved, they will be presenting plans to the ARC for a full rehabilitation of the structure and adaptive reuse. We want to thank them for sharing the structure with us and electively going through an architectural review process to ensure that the most preservation-sensitive manner is taken upon the rehabilitation. Thank you, Council, for your consideration to adding this piece of Tampa's history to our local landmark list.
Okay. Yes, Councilmember Maniscalco.
Does the applicant come up now, or is that it? No? Oh, so quick story. First, I'm so glad that this is going to be, if we approve this, designated as a local historic landmark, because we know Tampa's history with the cigar industry. I mean, I don't think Tampa would be Tampa with Ybor, with, you know, I can go on and on with the cigar, without the cigar industry. And I've told this story before, so some people may have heard it, but a friend of mine was in Switzerland in the middle of nowhere, in a village of, I don't know, 1,000 people, and he went to a cigar shop and starts talking to the owner, and the owner goes, "Oh, where are you from?" Because he's speaking English, and the guy's German. And he goes, "Oh, Tampa, Florida, you've never heard of it." And the guy goes, Arturo Fuente, you know? So it's like in the middle of nowhere in the Swiss Alps, people bring up not just, "Oh, Tampa," you know, Tom Brady. It's, they brought up specifically Arturo Fuente. So the conversation was started there, but you said there is no Buckeye style designated as a historic landmark in the city of Tampa, is that correct?
Yes, as a type.
So this would be the first. So when I had the Longshoremen this morning, we talked about urban renewal and the effects of so much being demolished. Urban renewal did a lot of damage to Ybor City, and we lost a lot of cigar factories, and the cigar industry changed. But as the cigar industry has come back in the last 30 years, because really since like the 90s, it's kind of exploded again. The fact that this building still exists and was not demolished, because it's a lot of wood there, you know, and wood in tropical climates, you know, if we demolish brick cigar factories, imagine this. So number one, it's rare and it's special that at a century old, I think it was built, what, 1925, is that what you said?
23.
The fact that we have this and the fact that we have the family still operating, you know what I'm saying? So if you look at the history of cigar labels, if you go to the History Center, there's labels that don't exist anymore, were sold off, like Have a Tampa that was huge and all that. But the fact that this survives, and that we have a surviving structure, that when we talk about Tampa history, Ybor City, we're not just going through photos, but we can take people to the structure and say, hey, this exists and we preserved it. So I think it's very important, and I'm excited to support this. Thanks.
Councilman Miranda.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to see this as far as maintaining and keeping and preserving it. way back when there was nothing, you call them Buckeyes, and in Spanish they llama chinchad. I don't know why they call them chinchang. Sounds like a creepy creature, but that's what it was translated because they couldn't say the word Michigan Avenue because that was, say La Michica. They came up with names, but they got it. When you spoke in Spanish, you understood where you came from because it was never the word in English. It was translated in Spanish with like a song. They would sing to you. And I've known the family for many years. My mother-in-law worked as one of the supervisors there for years out of Paris, and I can tell you this family saw the future and what was going and preserved this building. Not only did they do that, when they moved their operation to Dominican Republic, they did something that no one does. They built housing, they built educational schools, they built the farm, they built the cigar makers, they did everything so you work and play where you live. And that's how it used to be in the days when they were in Ybor City, that you lived and worked where you played. And that's what happened. In fact, they had 2 championship teams. In fact, Tommy Franks himself, the general who went to a war leading the Iraq and Iranian war way back then, when you look at the factory now that they have on 22nd Street, you walk up and you see a certificate signed by General Tommy Franks. We were once in Ybor City and he wanted to buy some cigars. And I told him, let's go where I know you can get the best cigar. And he was very thankful and grateful that I took him there. So it was a wonderful thing. He toured the whole factory, especially the big humidor factory, and he was at awe to see what the people in Ybor City had manufactured. So it's a wonderful thing. It's a savior of a building. I know somebody spent a lot of money to get a building like this built, and I think she's in the audience, to get this building certified as a historical building. And she told me that years ago she was going to do that. And I somewhat believed her, but she did, and I want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Carlson?
I really want to vote on this, but I have to go. Is there any way we could go ahead and vote?
We can do it right now.
Okay.
And thank you, Leona, for.
Councilwoman Young, this is in your district. Would you like to read this one? Sure. I'm sorry, we have to take public comments. You're pushing me along. Is there anybody in the public that wishes to speak to this item?
Move to close.
We have a motion to close from Councilman Miranda, second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Councilwoman Young.
Okay. Let's see, file number HL 25-84468 HPC 25-29, an ordinance of the city of Tampa, Florida, designating Nieto-Fuente Buckeye, located at 2708 North 18th Street, Tampa, Florida, as more particularly described in Section 3 hereof as a local historic landmark, providing for repeal of all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
We have a motion for Councilwoman Young, a second for Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. 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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Motion carried unanimously. Second reading and adoption will be held on February 19th, 2026 at 10 o'clock a.m. in City Council Chambers, 315 East Kennedy Boulevard, 3rd floor, Tampa, Florida, 33602.
Councilwoman Hurtak.
Well, I just want to say congratulations. I know that Leona has been working on this for a very long time, and I'm so excited. Funnily enough, my husband's been cleaning out some stuff in our house and brought me this empty cigar box that I've had forever. I think I bought it before I moved back to Tampa, and I just saw it in a thrift store somewhere or an antique store, and I bought it. And I looked down at it, and it's a Fuente cigar box, and so I actually have it in my office. I brought it in today. I forgot to bring it up, but I'll have to show it to you. But yeah, so it's a wonderful, wonderful history that the family has in this city, and I know we rezoned this property already, so really looking forward to seeing what you do with it. But congratulations to go through the very difficult process of making this a historical structure and protecting it. We are grateful for people who do that sort of work because it is truly a labor of love. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a very informative. I didn't know anything about the building really, so that was a fascinating presentation. I really appreciate that, and thank you for bringing this forward for the family and for everyone. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Rivera.
Whenever before we break for lunch, I see Mr. Fowler here with Parks and Recs. Is there any way for his presentation number 38, I think it is, for disability parks, we can have that done before lunch? It's probably going to be 2
Well,
minutes,
what I'm going to do
if
first, I'm
possible.
going to move, let's get a motion to move the staff reports 35, 36, 37. What else we got here? We've got 43 and 45. We have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco, a second from? Councilman Miranda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, Mr. Fowler is on for 34. You want to do Mr. Fowler? We can do 2 in a row, 34 and 38. So we can do two at one? Is that okay with council? No, hearing no objection? Yeah, one then the other, but I mean back to back. So Mr. Fowler will hold 34 and then 38. We moved the staff reports that we did in staff 4, and then we're doing 34 and 38 as number 1 and 2 for staff reports to get Mr. Fowler out of the way. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, council. We're going 34 first?
34 first, please.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I was asked to look into being able to move the structure at JBL. That, it would be cost prohibitive. It would probably drive it up 4 times. But a little more history on the attenuator dock. It was initially installed, it is to break up the water flow, because at that point of the river, you've got the 2 seawalls. So any kind of natural water, whether it's weather driven or through wake with boats, it causes a commotion that makes it rough water. So that attenuator dock was designed and installed at the time of the opening to benefit the River Center rowing program as well, because it'll create calm waters, which we have 135 kids coming through there every day in the rowing program, not to mention we have Blake and Robinson folks that row for our Team Tampa because they don't have that opportunity at their high schools. We also have Hillsborough High School and several universities that use it on an annual basis for their spring practices. So not to have it there or replace does kind of not give people the best experience when they're trying to launch sculling, rowing, kayaks, or any kind of non-motorized vehicles to use our rowing system the way it's supposed to be used. So it needs to stay where it was designed to stay because it was a specific purpose of calming the waters.
Councilwoman Hurtak.
When did this dock, when was it hit?
I believe it was 2019.
Okay, so this was hit 7 years ago, and they haven't had any trouble using sculling boats since then.
I can't speak to that, but
Okay.
I'm speaking to the original intent.
Okay,
I was
yeah.
asked to explore if we could move it.
Yes,
for future.
I was the one
yeah,
that
so,
asked
so
that,
that
yeah.
so that's why I was explaining that.
And this item is to move 1.1 million, but I could have sworn we already did the Gadsden Park one at a
Yeah,
prior.
I don't know why that 1.1 million was a total between the Lowry Park Boardwalk, the Gadsden money, and the attenuator dock.
This just says JBL Attenuator and Gadsden Park. The Lowry Park was a different one. We approved
Yeah, but I'm
that
saying the
one
1.1 million, that's where that came from.
already. No.
Well, I know one of the motions that was in there, it got convoluted.
We need the correct amount of money because we
I
can't
agree.
approve 1.1 million when we've already approved, if I remember correctly, 700 for Gadsden. So we need to have that be the correct number. But again, and this is just me personally, I understand that the people who are doing the rowing, that they might need this, but there are a lot of kids who don't have dugouts, who don't have other things that have been waiting for a really long time. And to me, this is just not the best place to spend that money. My colleagues might disagree with me, but I cannot vote for this because I just simply believe that we have things that are of a higher priority than letting people off a dock. And again, this is what the public is telling me too. They really want to focus on parks, but they want this money to go somewhere that hasn't had the attention that JBL has. And so that's why I can't vote for this. And I'll see what others have to say.
Councilman Maniscalco.
Oh, so in regards to park improvements, I know one of our public comment speakers, Tara Bluma, mentioned, as we have future discussions at another meeting with, I don't want to say excess funds, but leftover funds. I think we could approve this today, but keep in mind those parks that have lots of needs. I mean, she threw out a number, I don't know if it was $2.5 million, if I recall. But anyways, at the future discussion, when we see those leftover funds or any surplus funds, we should look at dedicating those to these parks that have been neglected. Councilmember Carlson's not here, I don't want to speak for him, but he's made, quite a few comments about how residents and people that have moved here, how those parks are neglected. Yes, they pay a lot of property taxes, yes, but I mean, I can make a list of parks that I go to with my stepdaughter and my wife. I mean, just basic things, benches that are just unsafe. A lot of stuff has been repaired, but it's a lot of little things that really spruce up a park. And when people see those investments, whether it's dugouts, whether it's benches, they feel good that they know that they're being heard and that those needs are being addressed for their children and their families. So I'm going to support this today, but keep in mind when we talk about that, any extra funds in the future, that we prioritize, some of these neglected parts.
Just clarity, I've been working with Mr. Fowler on a list of the Park Department priorities, and I have that list to bring, and I've actually forwarded it to Ms. Kopesky to forward it to our discussion of unspent money on the Park Department needs, and it's a pretty comprehensive list, and it's more than we have, but at least we can go through and we can actually see what the Park Department has programmed out and what they need and what they programmed out and what they're ready to move forward on. So if they had access to money, so I'll be bringing that to that discussion. Mr. Shelby, you had something to add?
Yes.
I'm going to bring up that if this is the incorrect amount,
Yeah, we
I would recommend.
You cannot vote.
Correct.
on
What I'm going to recommend is that we pause this discussion. And are you able to bring us, before close of business, to bring us the correct amount that you want us to vote on for this, or do we need to defer this to a different day?
We need a fully new resolution. It has to be rewritten for the correct amount. So
Well, I mean,
I think we moved it to February 5th, so we have the right amount of money.
Is it only for that rebuilding?
It's just a dollar. It's just a dollar amount.
I'm
so if they
almost
fix it-
positive because I want to say we already approved the Gadsden Park part of this. I mean, so we've done that already.
And I've confirmed with the clerk there is no substitute resolution
Then
filed.
then we have to get the substitute resolution.
We
So-
can't do a pen and ink change to the dollar figure?
No.
Do it to February 5th.
February 5th. I motion to move
Unless-
this item
unless they
with the
wanna-
corrected resolution with the corrected amount to February 5th.
You had something to
Unless
add?
they're able to bring it back after lunch.
That's what I'm saying.
But again, I mean, the number is not the point. The point is, even if we have $5 million, it's not nearly enough. And other parks have not had
Well, I
attention
mean,
since before 2019.
I agree, that would be your decision to vote yes or no on, but as far as the.
Well, but I'm trying to
proce-
talk people into not voting for it. That's the whole point. That's the point of this discussion. It's not this.
But procedurally.
Yeah, sure,
Procedurally, they could
procedurally.
come back after lunch with a resolution.
Councilwoman makes the motion and it gets a second, it's on the floor.
Well, I made a motion and
This is
So-
February.
Okay,
to move it to February 5th.
Okay, so, okay, we have a motion and we have a second. Councilman Vera.
Thank you very much. I'm fine with moving it to February 5th. I vote for a lot of big park projects. I do. I was proud to, for a lot of different things, and with Gadsden Park, proud to support that. I know a lot of people that live in South Tampa, and I do hear about parks in South Tampa. Very proud to vote for the East Tampa Park for the Recreation Center. That's been a long time coming, and East Tampa's park deficits and recreation deficits have been talked about literally for decades. I do want to bring up though, there was something that was done a long time ago, the Parks Master Plan that was done years ago, and if y'all remember, the district that had the biggest deficits in it was District 7, and I know that we're going to be looking at the budget, I believe, the K-Bar Ranch Park, but we'll talk about this later. But when we always want to remind people, because I always say, look, I'm termed out and we're going to pick somebody new for me, and whoever comes in my position, she or he has got to fight hard for this district, because if the person sitting here often doesn't bring stuff up and you are in North Tampa, a lot of times it doesn't come up because we are the Alaska of Tampa. It's not in anybody, by the way. I wish more people would come here to Tampa City Council for whatever that's worth. But that whenever we talk about I'm glad to support South Tampa. Gadsden Park, the next item actually has to do a lot with South Tampa. And I know Councilman Carlson supports that as well. But we always got to remember those areas outside of the CRA. You know, I think that's important. So I'm okay with continuing it. I think that's fine. And everything, we can get more information on it internally and everything like that. Julian B. Lane is one of our flagship parks, and we want it to be stellar and so forth. But if the councilwoman needs more information and time for it, I'm fine with that as a courtesy.
Councilman Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You have one of the hardest jobs in the city. No matter how much money you have, you can't keep up with the changes in equipment. You can't keep up with technology. You can't keep up with how many parks were there in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and the 2000 up to 2026. I can tell you the park that I played in, whatever it was that we were there, saved a lot of kids' lives. That's one of the few parks that has not one but 2 Hall of Famers in baseball. That's Cascade Park. And it changed dramatically. I go by there and visit all the time, just drive by for memories, and there's nothing left of anything that was there before. And that park should be a historical type. If it's ever built back, it should be built back historically like it was. You had a softball diamond on the northern part. You had 2 Little League fields in the center of the park, and you had the Major League Park on the northern, and the Major League Park's in the southern part of the park, and the softball diamond was in the northern part. In the center, you had 2 little pee-wee teams or Major League teams and baseball kids. That park held hundreds of kids, and at that time, there was no Little League, there was nothing around, there was only one thing. One female coach and one male coach. And they handled everything from tennis to basketball to football to baseball to anything in sports they handled. The man handled the boys and Miss Mexico handled the girls. And in that tennis, there was a lady, and I'm thinking of her name right now, who rose all the way in the tennis field. And in the side of the baseball, I'd show you about the 2 Major League guys that became all, but there were other Major League players that went up. And no, I'm not one of them. No, it's not one of the best ones there. I'd admit to that. But I can tell you this, it saved many lives when no one had anything, but they had a park. No one had TV, even though there was TVs invented. No one had a lot of things. They walked everywhere and everybody was happy. They worked where they lived, and they grew a family and supported the family with very little, and everyone was happy. Now we have a hell of a lot more, and very few are happy. But your budget does not meet the responsibility of all the parks that you have. And if you look back at all the changes that you've had to do to and your predecessors had to do to, it's not an easy job to do. And I want to commend you and your staff for doing what you can.
Thank you. We have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak, a second from Councilman Maniscalco, to continue this item to February 5th, 2026. Councilwoman Hurtak.
Except I want to make sure that the motion says that it needs to be rewritten with the correct amount of money for the specific thing, because we already approved the Gadsden Park money so they could get started.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. And now we move on to item number 38. Councilman Vieira.
Thank you very much.
Short.
And Mr. Fowler, again, I wanted to thank you for coming here live. And you know what Councilman Miranda said is true, which is, you have a very hard job. And, I know a lot of people in my district always talk about and clamor for parks and all throughout Tampa. So, you always have a very hard job. So the reason I wanted to bring this forward is because we have, and we're going to hear more about this in CRA areas, a plan of action for disability and accessible parks in our CRAs. And I wanted to talk about areas outside of our CRA that in terms of what we're doing to make sure that their playgrounds are fully accessible. And by fully accessible, I don't just mean a pathway for someone to get there, as important as that is, but also accessible playground equipment for somebody with a disability, sensory issues, and so forth. Yeah. You take Gadsden Park, we've obviously been dealing with that. The Challengers playing there for many years, Special Needs Little League, that a lot of good folks, Greg Jones with Cup and others. Obviously North Tampa, we're talking about the K-Bar Range Park, what that's going to do for having disability accessibility there. I know the East Tampa Recreation Center has some wonderful accessibility equipment, which is a great win for our friends in East Tampa. So the question is, sir, what is the plan for that from going forward? And I'll stop talking so that you can answer. Thank you.
Start with your name again.
Ted Fowler, Parks and Recreation Director. So this is a list that our planning and design folks came up with where they visited each of our parks, and each of these parks listed have at least 1 to 2 elements of ADA accessibility, whether it's tables that you can have a wheelchair under, it's pieces of equipment, it's poured surfaces. So this is what we currently have on our stock. So going forward, and just for delineation, the new Tampa Community and Freedom Playground are total all abilities playgrounds. So going forward, it's our best practices, whether it's a new build or refurbishing existing property, that we go through with ADA in mind as top of mind. So whatever design, whatever play equipment, whatever benches we put in, that will be our first and foremost priority.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, so thank you. So, question for you, what is then the plan? And by the way, I'm gonna motion, I'd like to, I can do it now or at the end, which is, because I'm gone here in November, and I wanna make sure that we have annual updates on what's happening in every single park for disability equipment. So, for example, I mean, can you tell us about the K-Bar Ranch Park? What's going to be foreseen there with regards to disability accessible equipment for New Tampa?
I cannot right now.
Okay. How about, I mean, can you speak on any park in the New Tampa or North Tampa or South Tampa area?
I can speak on Fair Oaks, as you've already delineated. That is a wonderful, it has its own wheelchair swing. It has poured surfaces. It has ADA accessible sidewalks everywhere to every feature. And just to be clear, the reason I can't speak onto that is because we're in the process of, so
Sure.
The property you mentioned is in that process, so I can't really speak to
I get it. Is there anything that you can speak of in terms of South Tampa parks where we can, and again, I know Councilman Carlson's not here, he fully supports this and so forth, but South Tampa or newer North Tampa parks that are not in contract, where we could have some disability accessible equipment. Let's take Copeland Park, for example.
Copeland Park
flagship park.
Right, Copeland Park, one of their 2 playgrounds does have ADA accessible equipment.
Great,
There's 2
like
playgrounds.
playground equipment?
Yes, it does.
Great.
I can speak to South Tampa, Port Tampa, Kate Jackson. Those also have ADA accessible equipment.
Great.
The other one that we've talked about a lot, I don't want to mention the name.
Yeah.
That's part of the process.
And I understand, and I appreciate that. And by the way, a lot of folks in the New Tampa area are very excited about this park. One of the gentlemen who spoke here today for International Holocaust Remembrance Day, Sid Shaw, is a big leader in the Indian American community there. They're very excited because of the cricket component.
Sure.
And I guess I'll stop. I don't want to have you talk about it if you can't. So council, if I may, Mr. Chair, unless if anybody.
We got
Yes, sir,
Councilwoman Hurtak
please.
waiting.
Afterwards.
I'll circle back.
Yes,
to you.
sir.
Councilwoman Hurtak.
So my question is, you talk in this about ADA and all abilities. So can you explain the difference between ADA and all abilities?
All ability playgrounds are the new Tampa playground that we're going to rename in a few weeks, and the one at McFarland Park, the Freedom Playground. They are designed specifically for children of all abilities. Every touch point, everything that we design and put in there is for children of all abilities. It does not exclude those any other children, but those are what we consider all abilities playgrounds. The other ones that are listed have at least 1 or more components that provide ADA stimuli.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Councilman Vera, I'm willing to hear a motion.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And I would say for that, because I know the McFarland Park Freedom Playground, that was through a lot of different sources. And then, of course, you have New Tampa. I mean, I'd love to have all abilities parks in all of the 4 parts of Tampa. We have West Tampa, we have New and North Tampa, have one in East Tampa, and then one in South Tampa, because those, I mean, and there's a reason, and we met on it this week with Ava Boonstoppel and Brucey Boonstoppel, that we're naming that park after the late Harrison Boonstoppel because of the values of that park and all that young man's life and everything. So, I'd love to have, and I would leave it to, Councilman Carlson, who'll be leaving in a year and a half, Councilwoman Naya Young, who I'm sure you're going to have a long time here for that to champion, for your districts. an All Abilities Park. I think that's great. I'd love to see one in East Tampa. I really would. So my motion, if I may, Mr. Chairman, is that we have, how do I do this in terms of course and scope going forward from here, that every year, let's say,
Every first meeting in January when we come back from the
boom, thank you, Mr. Councilman Maniscalco. So the first meeting in January, that we have a live report from Parks and Recreation citywide on what efforts are being done on playground equipment and ADA accessibility throughout our city of Tampa. That it get done every year, if I may.
Yeah, and
in person, first regular.
Yes, sir, yes.
If I can, will that be a 5-minute staff report, or will that be something that's going to take
We'll
longer?
take it up in a year, right?
No, I'm just
Well,
saying.
why don't we do it as a staff report at this point, and then we can always change it.
Yes, sir.
So we'll do 5-minute staff report. And just for clarification, we're building that, we're in the coordinating on the Swan Park. That'd be a great, because we have Kate Jackson there, we'd have a great opportunity to talk about making this an all-inclusive park right there for South Tampa. That would be since we've got this on the table.
Love to see it.
And just for y'all know, there's a public-private cooperative agreement that we're working on, so it's really fascinating that there's a group of community activists that are working with the city, and they're paying private money to working with the city to do that. And Mr. Fowler's been very engaged in that process as well. Okay, so we have a motion from Councilman Vieira. We have a second from? Second from Councilman Maniscalco. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Councilman
Thank you,
Vieira?
sir. Thank
Is that
you.
it?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Thank
Well,
you.
I think we have time for 42 before we go to lunch. 42. We'll do 42 and we'll see if we go. Well, 44 may be long, but we'll see.
It's supposed to be 5 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Have you ever met this council?
You have to follow, we have to at least try to follow our rules. If you're following the rules with the public,
I agree.
we better start following the rules with
I
ourselves.
agree. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. You've got my full support. Help me out.
I apologize for this. I apologize for this one on Mr. Garcia. Can we, and I apologize for staff that's here. Mr. Tony Garcia was going to be here after lunch. I thought we were going to take this up after lunch. So my apologies for that.
Well, I guess that answers that. So we were going to,
and
thank you for showing up. We are going to see you
apologies.
after, we're going to have 1:30 hearings, and then after that, it should be shortly thereafter. Okay? Brandon Campbell, we are moving on to item number 44. It's a 5-minute report. Set the timer.
I can do it.
Set the timer.
Good morning, Council. Brandon Campbell, Mobility Director, here to give you a quick update on our repaving progress over the last quarter and a few projects that we have planned for the current quarter. So I uploaded a written staff report and response that sort of outlines the progress that we have made. I wanted to mention that over the last quarter, our in-house forces completed about 15 lane miles of resurfacing, and our contractor did approximately the same amount. So a little over 31 miles actually of resurfacing in the last quarter. Those in-house projects included the Gomez corridor and some of the side streets coming off of it. If I can zoom out just a little bit. That has been completed. We also in-house did the repaving of Henry and 37th. You might notice that this has ongoing, but since the map was created, it has been completed. Azeel Street in the Beach Park area and the side streets surrounding it have been completed as well. And that is all of our in-house paving for this quarter. The contractor paving included Yukon Street, Riverview Drive, Renfrew Place, Linebaugh Avenue between Florida and 12th Street, and Waters Avenue between Nebraska and 22nd Street. Might make sense to orient it this way. And then last, the last paving project with the contractor in the last quarter was Swan Avenue, Lois Avenue, and some of the surrounding streets. For the upcoming quarter, these were actually not included in the staff report, but brought a couple of additional pages to share with you. Our next in-house paving project is in the Port Tampa City area. It is McCoy Street. And then we have issued work orders for our contractor in a couple of different areas, including Ybor City, several different disconnected segments in need of some additional attention. 7th Avenue, 2nd Avenue, and Nucio Parkway, to name a few. And then Commerce Palms at Compton Drive. We do have a traffic signal installation project there at the intersection of those two. And in conjunction with that project, we are doing some resurfacing in the area. Of course, we have several other projects coming up. We have 30th Street between Bougainvillea and Fowler. We have several surtax-funded segments, including Cypress Street, basically throughout the city limits on the west side of the river. We have McDill between Bay to Bay and Gandy. Those are not in the immediate next set, but those should be coming within the next 18 months or so. So with that, I will happily answer any questions.
You know, I want to question, I take the privilege of saying that you guys, I know some of this started with your predecessor, Vic Beatty, and bringing the paving equipment on, and then doubling that, adding the second paver. I think you guys are doing a tremendous job. With this council and the administration's support and what you all are doing is exactly what the city of Tampa has needed and is demanded. Yeah. We are accomplishing more. We've accomplished more in the last 2 years than they probably have in the last 10 years on paving in the city. It's dramatic. You know, I ran on a Pave Our Damn Street campaign. We are paving our damn streets, and I appreciate the relationship that we have and what you are doing. It is noticeable. People all over the city of Tampa recognize it, the accomplishments that have been done with it. Again, and I want to thank the city council for the funding support and what you all have brought to the table in ensuring that this is a priority. When we've talked about leftover money that we've transferred to it, when we've gone through these budget cycles, how aggressive this council has been throughout, and thank you, Councilwoman Hurtak has been a great supporter, Councilman Maniscalco on this, ensuring that we have really ensured that the funding that we provide you with the funding that you need. Whenever you need more funding and you have the capacity, let us know, because we're going to find it so that you guys can continue to do what you're doing. Councilman Maniscalco, followed by Miranda.
Oh, thank you very much. Could you email all of us these images?
Yes, yeah, certainly. Most of them are in the staff report, but those last three are not. I can email them to you.
Yeah, yeah, I want everything so we can tell people what's coming.
Certainly.
In regards to Beach Park, I've been in contact with several people, but one resident in particular, and I've been telling her for 2 years, I'm going to tell the mayor, I'm going to tell the mayor, I'm going to, bring, and she did send an email about a month ago, hey, the roads are getting paved, thank you so much. So she's grateful, and nothing, they've already said it, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job, we appreciate it, because I think the biggest complaint we get is the quality of our roads, and to be able to show this to the public already, what's done and what's coming, I think people are very grateful, so thank you for that. So I know the backup material in the staff report has what's been done, but what's being proposed, if we could have those just so we can tell the community. Thank you.
Councilman Miranda.
Thank you very much. I voted for every road project, but my name was not mentioned, but I'm not taking credit for it. But anyway, well, I'm just saying what I heard. Anyway, thank you very much for what you do. They tell me, and you have how many miles of city of Tampa? Of roads,
goodness.
over 2,000?
Yeah, I don't even know the figure off the top of my head.
Because I know the road equals the same amount of pipes. If not, you wouldn't have the pipes under the road. Not only are we paving the road, you have the project that's moving under the road that's being done, the pipes program, and that's also working, checking the water lines and the sewer lines going to the proper location for the need and to the home for the water. And it's amazing that both projects are going on, and one is a $2.9 billion project, and that's being paid cash up front. However, I believe that due to the inflation that we've had in the last couple of years of what's going to happen in the next, both of those projects are long-term projects. They don't last for a year or 2 years and you're finished. They take many years to get done. And I believe at the end, we're going to be short on cash or you're going to have to bond. So just understand what we're saying, that we're trying to do the best we can with what we have, and the monies are being spent correctly because they're getting done. And it's just my opinion that I believe in the next 3 or 4 years, you're going to have to see an increase in that project to make it go fundable without being bonded. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Miranda, you can't take credit for fixing something that you've spent the last 100 years riding horses on and wrecking. And you're,
I never thought of that, so I'm gonna bring my horse to council next week. I'll do it too.
I know he will. I'm surprised we don't have a hitching post out in the parking lot.
That's what I'm gonna put.
The sign with our name.
It's the one with the electric, and it'll have a hitching post right
The
next to
hitching
it.
post on it. Councilman Viera, you had something?
Thank you very much, and I had to do something outside, but I just saw the Commerce Palms in Compton Drive, and I know in New Tampa, we're all very excited for this. It's right next to the YMCA, and that road is awful. So that's very welcome. And then, of course, New Tampa Boulevard, which is going to start this quarter, I believe it is. And could you do me a favor? This is very important. Let my office know when these start. Because again, especially New Tampa Boulevard, I mean, that's been for a long time. That was supposed to be done with AFT funds. And that's like a $2.5 million project, I believe it is, for New Tampa. So again, you know, we appreciate all of y'all's hard work in working with us and getting things done in the Alaska of Tampa. So thank you.
Just, did you make those phone calls for the waste management, Ybor City roads? Did you make the coordination?
I will do that today.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, hearing anything else? Okay, we are going to do lunch, and we're out at 12 o'clock. Let's get back at like 1:25 so that we can be in our seats ready for the 1:30 hearing. Is that good? 1:25. Hear that, Councilman Viera? Yes, sir, I know.
Sure. Yeah.